Hello, everybody. Welcome to an unannounced episode of Reezy Hangs Out with his reselling friends. We got a lot of cool people on the show tonight. The star of tonight's show is going to be Corey, a mighty mushroom. That's his YouTube and Instagram. What's up, Corey?
Hi, Reezy. How are you?
I'm excellent, bro.
Awesome. Good to see you.
I just have a super cheesy intro, I feel like. And we also have Kayla, better known as Hazel Hearts Vintage. What's up, Kayla?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Or as I like to say, the woman with the purple hair.
That's me.
I like the purple hair. And we have Nicole State. The woman formerly with blue hair. Now with what color is it now, Nicole?
Well, it's getting dyed on Thursday. So right now we're white. It's as white. We wanted to get it as white as possible.
Right. I feel like it got lighter over time.
We did that on purpose. Yeah. So you'll see
I
on Thursday.
It just happened naturally.
Yeah, we use special washes instead to do it.
Oh my god.
There's a hazmat team that just rolls up and starts doing hair shit.
And Corey said he wasn't going to cuss. You already broke the rule, Corey.
Sorry, I won't do it again.
So guys, the theme for tonight's show is education and fun. We're going to teach you guys, or at least Corey, you're going to learn how to make some money and not how to miss out on this thing that I would have missed out on. Because if you're like me, you don't know a lot about clothing. I know nothing about clothing. Everything I know, I learn tooth and nail. I'm searching every single thing. I'm texting Nicole 22 pictures from the thrift store. I'm live in the store. I'm what about this? What about this? I need help. So I figured this would help you guys. And basically the story goes like this. Corey came up on a fat Pendleton haul today. If you don't know about Pendleton, you're about to know. And it's a serious score. And I know you guys can get some value out of this. And Corey also said, he's I don't really do haul videos. And I was like, well, how about you do a haul video on my channel? So that's what's going to happen. This is actually Corey's haul video on my channel, and we're sharing it with you guys. And we have a couple other friends here for funny commentary. If you guys want to drink beer, I'm drinking beer. Corey is drinking wine or something.
I'm also drinking beer.
Yes. So this video is sponsored by Sierra Nevada. They're not paying me, but they should.
Quadrant.
Have water.
That counts.
Okay, Miss Healthy.
So the secret word for tonight's show is Pendleton. So every time we say Pendleton, you have to drink.
Oof, it's gonna get rough. It's gonna get rough.
We have a friend from eBay Mobile in the chat. We won't say who it is, but I told him I was going to throw him under the bus.
Nice. Shout out to
It's
eBay.
a secret.
So if you guys have any questions, as usual, just type question in all caps in the chat. Otherwise, we are going to get into Corey's story of today. And along the way, we'll just organically learn a bunch of stuff. I'll probably say some stuff. He'll correct me. And I think it will be great for everybody. So we'll probably learn a little bit about estate sales. And I mean, really, this is just also going to be an intro to Corey. And like I said before, his channel is A Mighty Mushroom. He is very knowledgeable. Subscribe to his YouTube channel if you are not already. The link is in the description. Go follow him on Instagram. As always, show love to anybody that shows love to us by bringing us good content. So I always appreciate that. With that all being said, take it away, Corey.
Well, I mean, mostly I buy things from estate sales here in the kind of Pacific Northwest, and if things are close, I'm in Portland. But if things are far, I'm willing to travel and find those things. Actually, Nicole and I went to an estate sale that ended up actually, it seemed pretty foul at first, but in the end, I actually did pretty well. So what I kind of do is scope out. I have connections with the companies. I know the people who work there. I can kind of call them and talk to them a little bit sometimes. Not up in Seattle, but here in Portland. I don't want to put it, money talks and other things walk, but when you're out there and you're contributing to the economy of other people, and you're providing value, and in that way, people tend to give you information, and information is the most powerful thing that.
So like earlier today on your Instagram that I briefly skimmed through, you had said, a lot of you guys like to pay like little to nothing or like almost nothing or any and whatever, but I like to pay up. And so that's kind of what you're talking about, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I talked to the proprietor of this company, and he said, "Listen, things are priced awesome. Get there early. They don't do a list. The family won't allow us to sell anything outside of the house. It needs to be purchased in the house, and that's just the way it's going to go." So I arrived at 5:30 in the morning. I left my house at 5. I got there at like 5:30. There was one, girl in front of me in line. And then some stragglers
Did you
came.
recognize her? Was she a regular?
I'd never seen her before. She said she's been buying in the area for like 25 years, but mostly in Washington. And I spend the majority of my time in Oregon. I live here, and it's just easier for me. When things are good here, I stay here. And I mean, my finances are limited in a certain fashion, but on a great day, I can go out and spend all the money that I need to. It's weird in this business when I am doing poorly, instead of contracting, I expand, right? So instead of being like, oh, I need to spend less money, I need to like hide, I'm like, here it is. Here's the money feelers. Let's go find it. Where is it? Let's go. So
Right.
I use money as a tool more than anything else. But so this sale was really crazy. The house was owned by this couple, and one of them worked at Pendleton. Oh, Pendleton! Woohoo!
Dang.
For over, I don't know what, over 40 years. He was the groundskeeper, and he smuggled all kinds of stuff out of the factory it wasn't supposed to have. So
wait, so that was the story? How'd you find that out?
I talked to the people running the sale. So wait, it gets better than that. So then two of the neighbors come out, and they're there at like 7 o'clock in the morning. So I get to talk to them for like 30 minutes and get an idea of who these people are and how they lived and all this crazy stuff. So today I purchased 10 Pendleton blankets, 6 of which are from, I believe, the 1940s. Somewhere around the 1940s, and then another 6 jackets from the 60s to the 90s. They only had about 10 jackets out, so I got 60% of them. And
was it like a mad dash to grab them or what?
I had to just so they only let 5 people in the room that had the Pendleton stuff in there, so that was a great advantage. So I had like an IKEA bag, and I just basically I saw one price on one of the jackets I'll show you, and I said, awesome, the prices are great. And I just started grabbing things.
Were you hanging up in a closet?
When you were in line, were you like first in line or close to that? Second. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're going to need a drink because you said Pendleton, by the way.
Were they hanging up in the closet or what?
No, there's no closets in this house. So this house is like the Winchester Mystery House. They're going to have 2 more sales in this house, 1 in 2 weeks. And it just gets really, really crazy.
So also you said you got there at 5:30 and it didn't open till when?
10 a.m.
So what did you do for 4.5 hours? Because I saw some of it on your Instagram story. Can you explain like what you were doing?
In that 4-hour period?
Right.
Oh, apparently I'm echoing.
It's not too bad, but if you had headphones, it'd be better.
I do have some around here somewhere, but it will take me some effort to find them. So maybe you can turn my volume down a little bit, or I can turn my volume down a little bit. Here, hold on. Let me do this.
Yeah, that's a little bit might help.
Is that better?
I didn't really notice it too much.
Okay.
One of us has to talk. Let's see. No, you're good.
Okay, great. What was I doing during those 4 hours? I had 100 drafts that were created by my employee, and I listed those drafts, which
Nice.
also contributed to sales for the day. So I had stuff to do, and basically I tethered my phone to my laptop and just sat there and worked.
So when you show up at an estate sale and you're like second in line, you didn't sit in that spot with your laptop like you're
Absolutely, I did.
Oh, you did? Right in
yeah.
the line.
Absolutely.
Because if
And
you
then
leave the
when
line,
people
you
came
lose
up
your
and started
spot.
talking, I put my laptop away. I'd start talking to people, and then when the conversation kind of died, I would pull out my laptop and start working. I think I got like 40 listings done while I was sitting there. So this is the awesome part. So there's an entire room that's like 10 feet by 10 feet with like 7-8 foot ceilings, that there are so many Pendleton blankets and coats in right now that they just couldn't get to it, and that they're going to do it again in 2 weeks, and then they're going to do another one 2 weeks after that. So based on what I understand, there are over 100 Pendleton blankets and over 100 Pendleton coats that are still left in this house. So
Wow.
we only got to enter about a 20% portion of this house. They were very eclectic, and they built rooms and they built real life dioramas. So like of dining rooms in their house. And there are all these mystery rooms. And that morning they discovered a new room that had
Dude, that is like some Winchester Mystery House shit.
Dude, you have to come every day.
I want to come next time. Me and Joe can come, and we can just be bodies that hold your stuff.
You could just grab things because
just block doorways.
Lockers.
Yeah, Joe can block doorways for you.
Oh yeah, like I love blocking doorways is one of my favorite things.
Joe's scary looking. No one's gonna say like, "Hey, move." He'll just glare at them.
Yeah, it was great. They only let 5 people into the room, and there were a lot of great things that I had like a tunnel vision to grab very specific items, and
Okay, question.
I wish I would have spent 6,000 and not 600. Honestly, what's up?
If we get 5 people and we're the first people in line, does that mean that if we team up?
Absolutely.
With 5,
yeah, we'll get everything. We'll just get everything in the room.
So they're only going to let 5 people in. So we have to be the first group there, and then we can literally buy everything.
We can literally buy everything.
Why don't we do that? Why don't we just take 5 of us up there?
Absolutely.
And we can film it for YouTube.
I'm down for a road trip.
So do you guys want to go? Do you want to start? I don't know if you can focus this so that we can kind of see what's. I'm going to explain to you about a little bit about Pendleton and who they are and where they came from. Maybe does that sound okay?
Yeah. Well, Amy in the chat wants to know, how did you carry all of that shit?
I put it in an IKEA bag. So this is what happened.
Why are IKEA bags
5 of us in? They let 5 of us in.
Thing.
Only 5 of us into the entire house. And I went directly to that room. And like I said, I saw one price and I just put as much stuff as I could into a bag. Like these jackets were on mannequins and they were pinned. And I was pulling the mannequins down and pulling the jackets off because they were $50 a piece. And these are $600 jackets. So I just did it as fast as I could, and I knew that things were going to get crazy because then they started letting people in, and they let 40 people into the house, and you couldn't move anymore. So the first move I did is I went to the cash register and I said, I want to pay for this stuff. I want to move it out to my car, and can I come back? And she said, yes. So I did that, and when I came back, the house was just packed. So packed that I couldn't move. So then I just went back to my car and left. I mean, it was just there was no way I was getting anything.
So where are the Pendletons? Dang it, that you didn't get to.
I mean, I got 6 out of 10 jackets, and
but you said there's more.
Oh, so this room is full of secret. This house is full of secret rooms, and there's a room stacked to the ceiling from where the door is to the back, and it's just blankets. And he was like, yeah, there's 100 blankets. And I'm like, that's 1,000 blankets. What are you talking about?
Why didn't you offer to buy them?
I told him that I would buy everything. So we're gonna talk during this week. And I told him I would buy everything in the house. I would just buy everything.
Do you have that capital?
Yes. I would buy.
And if not, he will
everything.
find it.
Tell me what you want for everything, and I'll buy it. You don't even have to have an estate sale. There were Asian antiques in this house that are worth thousands and thousands of dollars.
Why weren't they selling it yet? I don't understand why they weren't prepared for this.
You could tell it was really good though, right? Because at least from your footage on your story that I saw before
when I parked and I saw the steel sculptures in
exactly.
I was like, oh my God, where am I? This is crazy.
Yeah, they had a lot of artwork in their yard and stuff, right, Corey?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the house is enormous. So they only let us into like 20% of the house. There's like, they built rooms inside of rooms. So there's like, you walk into a room and then inside of that room, there's another room. It's like crazy. So
okay, wait, can I ask a question?
What?
The question is, you said this guy was the groundskeeper for the company that will make you drink, and so that was his lifetime job. How did he afford to do all of this stuff?
What do you mean?
He had all this artwork, and like, where did this money come from?
The Asian art, like they traveled to, like he got probably a month of vacation because he worked there, and they went and bought Asian art in Asia for his entire life before it was desirable. I mean, you could buy jade for pennies on the dollar 30 years ago, you know? I mean,
Okay,
it just wasn't, the value in Asian art wasn't there.
When you go to an estate sale, usually they're ready for you and they have the whole house done. Why didn't they
So this was beautifully curated. I just want to put it that way. It was beautifully curated, but it was only a tiny percent of what was actually in the house. By the end of this month, basically they have to get everything out. So they're going to have a sale in 2 weeks, and then I guess another one a week after that. However, look at the calendar. There's always stories. Like people have stories. So I mean, like his next door neighbor said he didn't leave the house for like weeks, and they found him in there. And the woman holding the sale said the house was totally haunted. And if you look at the picture that I posted on Instagram, and I didn't even look, there's like the shadow of a guy with a top hat on in the. Did you see
it? Stop it.
I'm not, dude. Look, it's there. Like I just posted it. I didn't even.
Is it on your
chat's
Instagram
going crazy?
story?
No one's even seen any of this amazing.
Wait, no. Is it on your Instagram story or in your Instagram feed?
It's on the feed. Do you guys want to see this stuff though? I mean, like,
I see it. It's weird.
Right? So that was I did not
creepy.
see that. I just took a picture and posted it.
This right here, right? Like this.
Yes, and like, the guy had tons of hats in the house, like top hats and brim hats and all these crazy hats. So really weird coincidence. Anyway, odd. I love odd coincidences.
So badly.
What?
I want to go so badly.
Dude, let's do it.
I'm there.
I'll go next time for
A Mighty Mushroom on UG2. What is Instagram? Yeah, I'm on Instagram. A Mighty Mushroom. Do you guys want to see this shit or what? I'm sorry.
Nicole and Corey are both getting demerits for their cursing. Meanwhile, I'm behaving.
Everyone, I apologize.
You can say fuck on Reese's channel.
He already told us not to curse.
You just broke the seal. Like,
yeah,
you broke the seal.
Wait, why?
A woman that doesn't cuss on her channel at all.
I know, but that's not the rule here. I don't understand.
I know. I'm trending more towards.
You can actually kick her out right now.
Towards a family channel.
Let's kick Nicole out. I'm voting.
No. It's all right. It's just that picture. Imagine this: you're watching a wonderful Reezy family vlog, and then in comes Nicole State dropping f-bombs.
Well, that'd just be awkward because Nicole doesn't drop f-bombs.
Nicole State.
You got it here. So. I guess
hold on real quick. I just want to announce, guys, to my YouTube guys or my Instagram guys. First of all, guys, the link to Corey's YouTube is in the description for this video. So go click on that and then click on subscribe and then click on the bell. I will be severely disappointed if his YouTube channel doesn't have at least 20 more subscribers before this video ends. Like, don't let me down, guys. Secondly, I'm live on Instagram right now. And I want all of you Instagram homies to know that you can come over to YouTube right now. Go check out my story. There's a swipe up link in my story that will send you straight to YouTube to hang out with us. So don't miss out because you're already missing out. Now back to the story.
So this house is crazy, and if you don't come to the sale in 2 weeks and you have the ability to do so, it will be something that you really missed out on. This was just so weird and interesting. Anyway, do you want to go there? Let's go there.
Yep, let's
get in here. So this is called a serape or a serape, and these are like blankets that
Mexican blanket with a hole in it.
Yeah, like people would wear. These are from the 1940s, and you can tell that because what Pendleton does is they change the pattern of the arrangement of colors, and you can see there's white on the main color. So this one's like a beautiful magenta color. And you see this awesome like sunrise pattern here. With age, you're going to see though, there's going to be defects, right? And I would say that the estimated, so if you try to find this blanket on the internet, it would be very, very difficult. This is a rare and extremely desirable blanket. The reds and the blacks are more desirable, but this one is much rarer. So, I mean, at auction, in a real, not an eBay auction, but a real auction with like Western wear collectors and stuff, I'd put a value between, 450 and 600 on this blanket. It's a full blanket.
And how much did you pay for that blanket?
$25.
That's insane. Maybe, do you think we can who wants to pull up some eBay comps so we can share the screen?
There are no eBay comps on these blankets, but I do have some things that do have eBay comps, but you won't find comps.
Yeah, earlier Corey told me, he was like, I think I'm going to set some eBay records for Pendleton.
Well, I have a
Corey,
code.
I have a quick question. Do you care
hold up, Kayla has a question.
Do you care if I link this sale in the chat? Like the link to the sale, so people can see the photos and stuff?
Absolutely.
No, go for it. Throw it in there.
Absolutely. Why? I don't care at all.
You can do whatever you
want.
want.
I know it's not secret or anything, but I'm just...
No, it's out there. It's out there, and...
Oh, you already have this stuff listed, Corey.
No, I need to do quite a bit of research, and these being like blankets that were actually used. So some of them were used as like saddle blankets. So this is from the same era. You can see there's some wear. This is the only one that has serious wear, but this is one of the rarer colorways. It's a green serape from the 40s. So this is just this collection is insane because it's every color that they made. Here's the blue.
That one's amazing.
This is the most. This is insane. This is from the 1930s.
Like
1930s, and it's in mint condition. I mean, there's just no wear to it at all. It smells mothbally, but obviously. What's up?
Okay, so did he work there in the 30s, or did he also collect them? Like, do you think?
I think he took stuff from the factory.
I know. So what I'm saying is, so he would smuggle stuff home, right? Uh-huh. So do you think he was working there in the 30s, or do you think?
No. He started working there in the 60s.
So how did he get all this older stuff?
He just took it from the factory, or they gave it to him, or whatever.
Because they sitting around 30 years later.
Absolutely, they still have stuff from the 1800s in the factory, apparently.
Someone in the chat asked or commented more so. They said, well, you could always hem that. And I just want to add my 2 cents in. Even though I'm not super knowledgeable about clothing, I know that as the reseller, you would never, ever do that. But that is a known fact. You can hem it, which is why it's still desirable to a buyer. But you let whoever's going to buy it do whatever they want to do to it. You don't.
Yes. So this is not clothing. This is like American folk art. So Native Americans bought these and made blankets out. These are Native American made blankets that are made from Pendleton and that they bought back from them, I believe. So the other thing is, you have to remember, this guy worked for Pendleton and he loved Pendleton. You could tell by
Jesus,
and he was out there so deep probably buying stuff that had Pendleton origin to it too.
For the record, I would just like to state that my beer is empty and now all I have is water.
Well, so let's say the word Pendleton, because this is just so beautiful. I mean,
that looks mint.
It is mint, and it is older than all of us.
That is so amazing. It reminds me of some some super Native American.
Exactly. These are Native American
like
trade blankets.
some like Grand
They
Canyon,
consulted.
like Mesa.
They
like-
consulted with Native Americans to help make designs that they wanted to produce and trade.
I feel like
So,
if the sun was made out of a blanket, that would be that blanket.
oh my God, they're sitting in my lap right now.
Okay, can I do a screen share really fast?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because people were freaking out; they couldn't find the link. So here is the estate. Can you make me the big guy here? This is the estate sale itself. So these horses, I was like, I want to go get one of these horses. These things are crazy. Look at those.
Yeah.
Like, who was it? Like, what? This stuff is insane.
And then there's
that's Pendleton, bro. That's John W. Pendleton right there.
Oh my God! What is this monkey?
What is this monkey? It's
Monkey
you.
lady.
So much cool stuff. Like you could tell just from the. Do you know the story behind what happened with the estate? Like why? Like did.
What is this?
If you want to get into gory detail, like I don't want to do that on the internet, but I have a lot of information about who this guy was because I talked to the people who lived around him.
Oh,
In that very small amount of time, I learned so much. I know I talk a lot on the internet, but like I listen a lot.
How excited were you to go to this sale this morning? Like, was this like you had trouble sleeping last night?
No, I never have trouble sleeping. The day before I went to the estate sale of Tinker Hatfield's mother, and I got some I got some relics from one of the most famous sneaker designers on the planet who's ever lived. So the combination of this with that, I feel like I'm kind of like in an impressionist painting right now. Like it's very surreal. You know, you don't get to walk into Tinker Hatfield's mother's house every day.
So, was that all the blankets, or you have more to show?
I don't have more blankets. Those are actually I do have more blankets. I'm gonna save those for last because they are the most amazing. But
okay, real quick, I just want to give everyone a little introduction into you as a reseller. How many items do you currently have listed on eBay?
Roughly 1,800.
Roughly 18. And then what were some numbers you were telling me that you were shooting for this year?
So I'm looking to have 500,000 listed and sold on the last day of this year. So I always have to say listed and sold because things are selling as I'm listing them.
Right.
So, and you know, I'm selling 20% of my inventory every month. So figure it out that way.
How many people do you have working for you, and you have like a little warehouse?
Yeah, so I have an inventory processing center, so anything can come from anywhere. We have a room where we can process it, and then it gets put into bins, kind of Amazon FBA style. Gets put into a pick location in that bin, and then we do same-day shipping on eBay.
Nice.
Yeah. Whenever you're in Portland, you can totally come down and check it out. Nicole's been there.
I definitely want to check it out. Do you know what your 2017 gross sales were, and do you want to share that?
2017 gross sales. So
yeah, for last year.
I started out the year mostly on Amazon. So you mean gross sales on eBay or gross sales total?
eBay.
Gross sales on eBay was probably like 100.
Okay. Did you just say you just started eBay last year?
No, I started I started moving away from Amazon. So I think we talked about this before. I was very heavy. I was like 80 or 90% FBA, like 10% eBay, just because eBay, I mean, there's things about eBay that scare me and there's things about Amazon that scare me. So I like to be diversified, but the traction was just so strong on Amazon like a year ago. Like I could send in anything and it would sell in moments, you know. And being ungated in just about everything is amazing.
And then you switched over to eBay.
I went to the eBay Open and I was like, all right, I met some people. I got some kind of like a way to be able to communicate with people at eBay. And I was like, convince me. I sat down with somebody and I said, convince me to go from 20% 20% eBay, 80% Amazon to 80% eBay, 20% Amazon. And somebody did. And here I am now.
You made a really good point. You were telling me, you were like, yeah, Amazon feels like a cage and eBay feels like your home. Can you explain that a little bit?
Well, you get to communicate with your customers, and your customers can become your clientele. Also, you can basically create the product experience for your customer. And on Amazon, you just basically piggyback on a listing and sell something. And Amazon doesn't want you to have any contact with your customer at all, but they want you to pay the taxes. They want you to take the risk. They basically want you to take all of the business risk and get none of the benefits for doing that. And a great example about how Amazon does things in a way that I think isn't correct. So I have an item and I want to sell it in Oregon, right? I decide to sell it FBA and they tell me to send it to Illinois. I never talk to the customer. I don't take the payment. I don't have anything to do with the shipping, but then they want me to pay the sales tax. But they're doing everything. So they are doing the business side of things, which kind of means they're selling it, and they're actually mandating that I send it to that place. So in the end, I don't see how these things could ever hold up in court. Like if somebody actually said, let's go to court and let's talk about the law and how the law works. If you mandate from me certain things, I no longer am a contractor. I work for you, and then you take the business risk because I work for you.
Right. So, yeah. The way that I was looking at it, and I actually brought up a bunch of these questions at the eBay community meeting, and Griff, I believe is his name, right? Griff?
Yeah. Griff's the old guard.
He shut me down so hard, and I really liked his response. He said, well, Reezy, eBay will never compete against you like how Amazon does. Amazon goes to trade shows. They're trying to get the same suppliers you're trying to get. They have their own private label brand. They're knocking off your private label brand. If you sell enough in a certain category of a certain item, they're going to track down that supplier and start selling that same item direct. Like they have a whole team whose sole job is to make relations with suppliers so that they can sell things direct.
Actually, their whole purpose is to replace you.
Exactly. We are essentially their flesh and blood robots because it's cheaper for them to have us to do it than to have robots running around the United States.
Yeah, but when those lines cross each other, then you don't when they bought out Whole Foods and basically told people who were approved in their products that had items in their warehouses, you're no longer approved. So you have to take your stuff back and you have to pay for it.
Right, and I actually did a short show about that. I'll put a little link up here when this video is over, and you can check it out. But basically, there were Amazon sellers whose entire business model was, I'm selling Whole Foods store brand products on Amazon because they're not on there. Whole Foods didn't sell on Amazon. Mm-hmm. And then literally the day Amazon bought Whole Foods, they chopped all of those sellers off and made their inventory inactive. The bright side of it was that they bought those sellers' inventory out at the actual market price at that time. So they weren't just like left SOL. They got all their capital back.
That's good.
But they had no business. They had to figure out a new model after that.
Well, at least, when Amazon told me I couldn't sell specific CDs anymore, they're like, you're not approved. And I'm like, what do you mean I'm not approved? Well, I was approved yesterday when you were selling my CDs. I understand changing the rules, but when you pull the carpet out from under somebody, I don't like that. I don't think that's a good business model or a good business plan. And I don't know. I like to bring uniqueness to the market, and I feel like eBay can bring that uniqueness, but they need to get way better at it. They're not as good at it as they could be, and I feel like that can change. And the reason I like eBay is because I really feel like they can make it different.
Awesome. So let's get back to the Pendleton.
I should model this because it's so amazing. This is like Brokeback Mountain stuff, man. I believe this is a tag made in the late 70s.
Let's see. Can you hold it up closer a little bit more?
Yeah, hold on. Let's go. Sorry.
Oh, so, those blues with those reds?
There's carved buttons and the wool. This is like worsted wool. This is wool on the collar, and the colorway is pretty amazing. I think there's another one of these on eBay right now for like 6 or 7, like $6.99 or $5.99.
Wow.
It's really a beautiful piece. So it's much easier to sell pieces that have
Can we see a close up of the tag?
What's up? You want to look at the
Get a
tag?
close up of the tag.
Yeah, it's a leather tag. It's a leather heat embossed tag. So it's like what do you call it? Branded. It's a branded.
Right, because
tag.
they're still in business, correct?
Absolutely, yeah. They're
so what are their jackets? What is a similar jacket retail for right now?
You can't buy this.
Okay, but what's the cost of the closest item, like a high quality jacket?
Like $450 probably. Nicole, what do you think?
I don't deal with Pendleton much, to be honest.
Looks like between $300 and $400 is about right for a brand new, not quite as cool.
Right. Way less quality,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, like you're not. I mean, this is like the colors are just amazing, and the time period that
this is from when America was great.
It was time. This is a timeless. It really is a timeless piece. I mean, the crazy purples down here accenting, and I mean, this is just insane.
Yeah, no, that is legit beautiful.
I've never seen. I mean, when you find something like that, and you're like, wow, I've never seen this before, and how do I? Rusted Raccoon says about $199. I don't know what he's talking about.
Probably the new price on a similar new item.
Oh yeah. So these are cool. There's 2 of these. They're rope lined. So they have this rope lining. And I don't know what the rope is made of, but it feels like silk.
And that's all around the edge?
Yeah. And it's got a couple secret pockets and the strap here, but it's this really dark blue. It's got the purples. And this tag, I believe, is from the 60s.
Yes, I think it is.
Yeah, I believe.
I actually put a link in the chat earlier, and I'll post it again. There's a resource you can go to look up vintage labels, and not just Pendleton, but other brands also. And I posted that there, so it'll help you determine how old your items actually are.
So this is like, it's full length, which really makes it kind of amazing. And this thing
did you care to put it on for us?
Oh yeah, I'll model it. I gotta take the pin out. I hastily grabbed it from the mannequin that it was sitting on. All right, let's do it.
In the chat, Valerie asked about using books to find information for vintage stuff. Kayla or Nicole, you guys would know more about this.
I'll actually post a link right now, but the website that I generally use is called vintagefashionguild.org, and it is absolutely a wealth of information about vintage.
Is there any forums that you guys use for like the super duper rare stuff? Like, I know people don't really use forums much, but I know that like for skateboarding, I know a bunch of skateboard collectors, and if they have like a skateboard they can't like identify like on eBay like price, they'll post it in a certain forum, and then old timers will comment on it, and then that's how you'll get the information you need.
So Vintage Fashion Guild also has a forum, and in order to post responses on the forums, you have to go through an approval process. So you need to be a business owner that has sold vintage. They have to make sure that you know what you're talking about, and that you're not just some random person saying, oh yeah, that's from the 1930s, when you have no clue what you're talking about. So it's a great resource to read and post, but if you want to participate in it, you need to be able to prove that you know what you're talking about.
Awesome. Thank you, Kayla.
It's always good to know what you're talking about.
Stand up real quick. Give it a whirl. That looks nice, man.
We gotta dip. Give it a dip and a flip.
Wow. That's so beautiful. You need a peace pipe. You need a peace pipe with that, bro. You need to smoke.
I'd estimate the value of this to be roughly, $350 to $450.
That's nice, man.
Yeah. There's another one of this for sale for
the art of progression in the chat just says the price just went up.
Because I modeled it?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It gets crazy in a second, though. So here's another rope lined from the same era, like late 60s probably.
Nice.
If you want to get into like
And
what
you
I
paid
really
about
paid for this stuff, here's the price tag right here. You see, $59.
That was the sale tag price.
Yep.
I would have paid that all day long.
Yeah, like line up and sell me this. I'll buy everyone in the entire world for $59.
Honestly, it wouldn't have been that difficult to pay twice that and still make an amazing profit.
Just to let you guys know, because I know a lot of my followers or my audience are booksellers or people that just sell random stuff on Amazon. Like you scanned it, like it's worth money, and because of that whole nature, you kind of don't build up a knowledge in your brain of what stuff's worth because you just scan it and it tells you if you should buy it. And clothing is totally different. And I'm learning to get into clothing because I feel like clothing it's a huge category. It's super untapped. Anybody could walk into any thrift store and find clothing that's worth money. And because it doesn't have barcodes is why it's like that, right? But I told Corey, I was like, man, if I wouldn't have been able to look stuff up, and I would have had to look it up, like if those were marked $10, I would have still wanted to look it up before I bought it. And if I couldn't look it up because say there was no sell signal or something,
I would be standing right behind you and I would just put it in my basket.
Yeah, I wouldn't have.
Okay, but
I might have not bought it. And so I think it's very important to learn, educate yourself about this stuff, and that's obviously why haul videos do so good. But you only know what you know, right? So I'm glad to, today I learned about Pendleton.
Corey, you told us the night before you went to the sale you were willing to pay $300 or $400 a piece for those jackets.
No, the horses. I was willing to pay $300 or $400 a piece for the horses.
For the rocking horse.
Oh, that's right. What were they priced at?
A lot. One was $500 and one was $600, I believe. Yeah.
That seems a little closer to what the market value might be.
There was a grayish one and a pink one, and the pink one was right next to this jacket. I'll show you in a second.
Wait, hold on, you froze and I missed the price. How much were they priced at?
One was $500 and one was $600, I believe.
Oh, I feel like still they were so good.
I couldn't justify it because I needed to walk across the room and grab those blankets. It happened that way.
Were they gone immediately?
Yeah, yes. Everything in the Pendleton room was gone in 10 minutes. I mean, so the sale started at 10. I walked into the room, grabbed every jacket and every blanket that I possibly could as quickly as possible. And within 7 minutes, seriously, I was at the checkout. Anyway.
And everyone else around you was doing the same thing. They were just piling into that room.
They only let 5 people in at a time. So I wanted to go back into this back room where there were some other coats, but they had all been purchased already. So there was that stack of Pendleton sweaters. Somebody basically went back, grabbed that entire stack, and they were all gone. Because they were probably $5 or $6 a piece, and they were $50 or $60 a piece, I mean, there were employee event Pendleton stuff. It's just stuff that just never, it's a small company, right? So just never comes on the market either. So, but yeah, this, I don't know what I would estimate the value is. This is really, it's very minty. It really doesn't have a smell. I'm very smelly. So here it is. Do you want the full Monty?
I don't even know what that really means, but sure.
Anyway, I really think it's worth around $350. That's the true market. I would imagine. All right, let's go. So this is my favorite piece, and there's a little bit of controversy with this piece because this is the Shared Spirit. Shared Spirit is the name of this blanket, and it's kind of a famous. A famous blanket, and
rainbow.
What?
Valerie Michaels in the chat. She said, "Oh shit, you're like an Aztec Hugh Hefner right now."
Yeah. So this is the Shared Spirit. When I went to go check, so I was the second person in the house, and I just grabbed every jacket I could. This guy came up and said, "Hey, that jacket's mine. And I was like, I don't even, like, how could that even be possible? Because there was nobody in front of me.
It's in my bag.
I actually had already paid for it. So that was that was an interesting experience.
What did he say to you after that? I want to know the whole story.
The owner of the estate sales company said, "Why don't you go put that stuff in your car and just worry about it later?"
Wow, that's
like, okay,
so
cool.
fly, dude.
It got very stressful very quickly. People got very heated, and I got out before all that happened. So
I feel like
I don't think I could sell that. I think I would have to keep that.
So these sell for about $275 on eBay, and there's actually not one for sale right now. So
I seriously feel like if rappers knew about those, we would be seeing them in more videos.
Yeah.
That's intense, bro. That is so fly.
Okay. Oh, the next one is the crazy prize. So this is why I went to the sale for this jacket. Like and only for this jacket.
Wow.
So Pendleton made a commemorative Journey West series. It's called the Journey West series. And as far as I can tell, based on like deep internet research, they only made 50 of these jackets.
Wow. 51, that might be the sample from the warehouse that the dude stole.
No, he probably just took one. So let's put this on. So look up Journey West Pendleton on the internet and try to find, like, everyone in the chat and everyone who's here, try to find this jacket.
Well, is that vintage or new? Because there's some for sale on a website right now in multiple sizes.
This jacket?
Yes.
In the Journey West? How much is it? That's interesting.
$320 new.
What's up?
$320.
Oh.
They have it from large to extra large.
Maybe they have them. I don't know.
Is yours vintage though? Is this like a reproduction maybe, or?
No, yeah, maybe this is the original from the 80s when they released this.
So maybe they remade it. I don't know.
So this year, so there's a famous Pendleton jacket that was in The Big Lebowski, and they just remade it this year, and you can buy it on Pendleton.com for like $240. But they put the new tag on it, like they're not trying to make it look like the old one, but it is the old one, So
that sucks for resellers.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Not that I know a ton about fashion, but like I see like all these toys, they're re-releasing like old Ninja Turtles. The packaging, everything, it's exactly the same as the ones from the early 80s, but they released it in, 2016. And I just look at it and go, man, that's going to cause a problem for resellers.
So the question is, Kayla, like, is this patch on the inside of those jackets?
The website that I found it on, which is forshells.com, that sells it. There's only a picture of the front of the jacket. There's no inside pictures or anything like that.
I found it on List, but it's just like a List, LYST. It's like a popular site. Here, it's just like a young kid wearing the jacket.
That's not the same jacket, though. Do you see the color difference?
It's not
color. That's red. This is pink.
Oh, yours is pink. It looks red to me.
It looks super red on the screen.
It's pink as pink it can be. I'm sorry. Let's get.
I don't know. Corey has laser eyes. They might look different to him.
Hold on. Let's get some light in here so you can see that it's like hot pink.
Oh, okay. So yeah,
the
one that I found is also on the website looks really red. Other than that, the pattern looks the same, but I mean, it's hard to tell from a picture.
Laser eyes.
Laser eyes see the world in a different spectrum.
I live in a different spectrum. This is definitely not red.
It looks red as blood.
Yep, same.
Okay, interesting. Anyway, so can you buy one of those jackets, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes, for $320.
We're getting a massive tummy shot right now.
to take a piece of a GI Joe to put my light back up again.
I really want to know the history of this guy now. I'm like waiting since you want to say it online. I'm just sitting here patiently waiting for this to be over.
You think this looks red?
It looks blood red on the screen.
Red.
Yeah.
Weird. Totally weird. It's not. It's actually multiple colors. You can see like it fades from like a more brick red, like a reddish here to like a pink here. Can you see that little fade?
If you look on my screen, I'm sharing that website that it's on.
Yeah.
But this is the only picture that it shows you. And you can see there's a gradient, but on the screen it definitely looks just like a kind of multi-shades of red.
This shape is the same too. What is it? How does it describe it?
Chat thinks you're colorblind, Corey.
So it basically calls it the Journey West coat.
Yep.
In stock, $322 or $320, and then multiple sizes are available and in stock.
Weird.
But it could be a remake, just like you were saying with the Big Lebowski. You know, it could be a remake. So
yeah, I don't know. It's weird to only have one picture, and the question is, can you buy it? That's my question. Can you actually buy it?
Right.
Because
you can buy it on List. LYST. You can buy it.
Okay,
I can buy it on this website
I'll pay
also.
for it. Buy it.
I'm not buying it, but you can buy it. Someone who has
that you can buy it because why isn't there one on eBay if you can buy it?
Because maybe it's not selling for as much, or like you said, maybe yours is an old version and this is some new remake of it.
Where is Worth Point when you need it?
I know, but
someone has Worth Point in the chat.
Everything ends up on eBay. So why isn't there one on eBay?
Well, there's a lot of things that aren't on eBay.
Very few things are not on eBay.
Yeah, well, I also doubt that person has, dead stock 80s jackets in multiple sizes, brand new.
Anyway, if you want to... Oh.
Can you tell us more about what you got?
So this is the Chief Joseph colorway here. This is some special edition. It is really beautiful, and it's two-sided. So one side has the gray or the sage kind of color as the main colorway, and then the reverse has the blue as the main colorway. I don't know if you can see the difference. Sage blue as the main colorway, and then the secondary color is this like amazing mesa sunset kind of thing going on. This is an enormous blanket. I mean, this thing weighs like 5 pounds.
Real quick comment: these blankets, like being worth this much, obviously, like the jackets, people are gonna wear the jackets, and like that's a status symbol. But the blankets being worth that much, people aren't gonna actually use these as blankets, right? They're gonna like use them as decorative pieces in their house.
Exactly. So they'll actually, people put them, like they hang them on walls. They put them on the back of like couches. They
cover like your buffet with them, and then put the other stuff on top of it or whatever.
I mean, let's get a little bit closer so you can kind of see the pattern here.
And that's supposed to be like pastel, right? It's not faded.
No, it's totally not faded.
Okay.
The oranges, you can see how like robust the orange is.
Yeah, it's just got like a faded sort of sandstone effect to it,
It's definitely the greens are kind of mixed with the orange a little bit, so it kind of makes these earthy tones. I think this is really the star of the batch, and I think similar blankets can go. I don't even want to put a number out there, really, honestly, but for
how about you just let us know when they actually start selling? Do you share your eBay store publicly or no?
You can totally find it. It's there.
Cool.
So along with that came 7 throws that go over the backs of couches. Like somebody tailored them into the backs of couches. So they're smaller, but you can kind of see.
But you have 7 of them?
7.
And they're all different, or they're all that pattern?
They're all the same color, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So would you sell those together, or like little baby blankets?
I really believe I could get $1,000 for all 7. I mean, look, just the quality is something that is hard.
Okay, so I'm going to throw this out there because I know a lot of people who are into Pendleton. people in like the rockabilly scene and like the country, like they're super into this stuff. And I know a guy who does car interior, and like I would bet money that someone would pay $1,000 for that set to literally reupholster like one of their cars. Like he would buy that and then make like seats.
Like related to your friend that makes the custom bags?
Yeah. So he's made Pendleton bags before. So he'll buy like old Pendleton like that. He'll usually look for scrap. So like things that have like really big flaws or like a big hole or something in it, you know, that he can chop up and not feel bad about it. But that's so much to me. What I'm seeing when you have 7 of those is fabric. Like you have so much fabric. And it's so rare to find so much of one print like that.
Yeah.
That somebody's going to buy that for the fabric alone and chop it into something.
It's just beautiful.
Yeah, that's much more than like a motorcycle seat.
No, someone could like redo their like 50s car in that, you know.
I'm just throwing blankets down. I wish there's just like a pile over here. Look, you see the pile?
Nice.
Anyway, so and then I got a crappy Pendleton shirt from like
someone in the chat said lowriders love to do that in the car seats. It's true. I wouldn't be shocked.
This is like a modern Pendleton shirt, but it's still a great shirt, and it was like $1 or $2 or something. I don't know.
And what will that sell for?
I don't know, 35, 40.
So if I find a nice Pendleton, even though it's modern, at the store, buy it for like $5-10.
I will pay up to $20 for some Pendleton shirts. You really have to understand the styles that are really, really popular. The thing is, they sell really, really, really fast if they're very, very desirable.
Mm-hmm.
Nicole would be like, I would never pay $20 for that, but I sell them for like.
No, I would actually. So I actually know a lot about Pendleton, like just from like being in the rockabilly scene, like all those guys, they would only wear like Pendleton, and I know that culture. That doesn't mean that I want to sell it, but I know about it.
It doesn't mean you're going to pass up on it either.
One other piece that came out of the sale, and this is just unrelated, and like going into a place and like kind of understanding odd things and figuring things out. And I bought and sold a pair of these like just a couple of months ago. These are, I'm sure they're the brand Never Rust, and they're embossed here. I don't know if you can see that, but the quarters here are these are Stirrup. What do you call them? What do you call these things? God damn it.
Pokers for cow.
Help me here. What?
Horse pokers.
They're called what? Spurs. Exactly. So the actual spur surface is a quarter from the 1940s.
Oh shit! Crap.
Yeah.
There's my one demerit.
So we know it's worth at least 50 cents.
Exactly.
Thank you. Well, it's half an ounce of silver, so that's $7.
Yeah, that too.
Anyway, so that is really the majority of the haul, and I know it might not be significant to the people who don't understand how exceptionally difficult this stuff is to find and how exceptionally rare it is. Some of it doesn't have the highest selling price. Like, you're not going to buy a Maserati by selling a piece of this stuff, but it is really very, very difficult to find.
So, yeah, we really appreciate you sharing that with us. What do you think the value is of that whole haul? And you said you spent what, $700?
$650.
And what do you think the gross sales value will be? Corey?
I'm calculating.
Good, because I think we froze right when you were calculating.
I think a fair market value is like $3,000 for the whole lot,
which is great. And your payback from eBay will be what, like $2,700, $2,500?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But there are some weird factors in there too. I mean, some of these blankets. Okay. So there's a couple of blankets in there. So the black and the red, those are like the big collector blankets, and honestly, like eBay might not be the best way to sell those, and they could be worth, $500-$600 a piece. So
are you going to try to pursue that, selling them locally or like to some kind of like museum type collector ish situation?
I don't know.
I mean, there's got to be somewhere near you, like an Americana place where you could take it to and just like have someone drool all over it. I mean, not actually.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't sell to other business owners because they need to make a profit, and I'm really looking for the end user, especially when I find things that are, this pile right here is like every day is a new adventure for me, and this is an adventure in itself, and finding the right people to buy these things, and that's kind of like what I do for a living. So I'm not really looking for somebody who's going to resell these things,
Someone in the chat was asking, maybe there's a Facebook group for Pendleton collectors.
There's probably multiple. Yeah, I also play hard to get with certain things, like.
So for these things, would you just set a buy it now that's like higher than your target thought price, and then like if it doesn't sell, lower it down? Or would you put it where you want to sell it, but maybe also put it on auction and see if you hit like a crazy home run?
If I don't sell them, so I have another Pendleton jacket. So I went to the sale of a designer who bought Pendleton fabric and made things out of them, and I sold multiple units, and I have one left, and I don't know what happened, if eBay just said, I don't want to show this to people, but it just didn't sell. And I put it up for auction, and it's up for auction right now. And everyone should look up Julia Ross Pendleton on eBay right now. It's at $177. I would estimate the value well beyond double. Nicole probably, or Kayla might know.
I just like
Kayla already dropped the link. You are like the light.
Check it out. The pictures are pretty bad, probably.
Reese's gonna have Kayla here always because Kayla drops links like boom.
I'm available for hire.
I need a serious. You guys are just really making me realize how awesome it would be to have a co-host. So what if I just had a Kayla on my show and I could just do my normal show, but then you just have like, it's almost like Howard Stern or Joe Rogan or any. They always have like, they have like the co-host. They're like, bro, bring the links. They're like, can you Google that for us real quick? Like, what's the population?
Yeah, but you don't even have to ask Kayla. She just
right. I was gonna say Kayla said not a word, and all of a sudden we were just like, oh, there it is. She didn't even say a word here, saying, oh, I put it over there. Just nothing.
And when the German troll parade came to the show last night, and Kayla was just like. She was like playing Asteroid with the German trolls.
I was like, bam, 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 bam.
German trolls, bam, bam, bam.
They were so hard. There was like 50 of them all of a sudden.
Dude, all of a sudden, like, there were 10 people watching, and then there were 60 watching within like 5 minutes, and she's just blasting German
But some
trolls.
of them came in and were just like, hi. And I was like, nope, bye.
We know the 6 people who watch this.
Yeah, if this is more than like 6 viewers, I'm like, okay, somebody's trolling.
Like, we get 12 viewers, and that's where we kind of like
DOS trolls.
We're ninjas, and we hide in plain sight.
I won't go on Corey's channel if there's more than 10 people watching. I'm like, not tonight.
Oh, look, now he's
there might be a problem then, because guys, I just want to let you know that Corey does a reseller hangout on his channel. It's randomly, it's not regular, but it's literally just imagine this, but with no set topic and maybe a couple more people, and they put the join link in the chat. And if you want to join and be a part of it, you can be a part of it. But they're listing, they're talking about work stuff. They might talk about like, what is the meaning of life for a little bit. And then, oh, Kayla, can you help me find out what this is worth or whatever. But like, it's literally just reseller hangout. He doesn't try to market it to get views. It's not monetized. He titled the show Butt yesterday.
Okay, so I've lost it on Corey's show before to where I've had to be like, end the show right now and delete it. Because like I'll slip and I'll say something and I'll just, because you're like in the flow with your coworkers and then you forget you're live and you're like, I just said something about like, I don't know, it's just not even an important thing, just something I wouldn't want public, you know? Like I just gave my home address. Like, turn this off.
we have a forum that is very like it's open, and it's a true space for communication and innovation. A lot of things have happened in that space that's really helped me grow my business, and I really hope to grow that space and have other people come in and contribute. If you contribute in a way that we kind of like deem as unnecessary or like useless, you like we're looking for people who will come and join the community and provide something back.
It's really cool. The way I see it is it's like a needed thing on YouTube, because we're all like really heavy on Instagram, right? Like we're YouTubers, like all of us have a YouTube channel, but we all admit that like Instagram is really the place where we hang out. Like YouTube is where I put videos and I answer the comments on, but it's not like back and forth like Instagram, right? It's like Instagram. I can't really explain it. Maybe you guys have a better take on it, but what Corey does on YouTube is necessary for creating like a community vibe on YouTube, in my opinion.
Yeah. I'm dedicated to, like, the community drove me to the level I am now in certain ways, and I felt like we and anybody who wanted, like, I don't, even though it's my channel, I don't own the space. It's owned by everybody who contributes, and I have to moderate that space in some way, but I only moderate it in the way where somebody's like, well, I kind of like I said some things that maybe aren't might be taken incorrectly, or maybe I'm very salty. Like I'm in the old salty reseller, so I might tell somebody to shut the F up or something.
You're the young salty reseller.
No, I'm old.
You're not old. You're like the same age as me. How old are you, Corey?
I'll be 40 very soon.
Really?
Yes.
You look much younger than 40.
Yeah, because I don't take any bullshit.
You could pass for the lower side of 30 any day, bro. I bet you get carded when you shave.
Nicole, what are you saying?
I just want to say that, like, that space is kind of personal to me, because it's a space where I can go and I never feel like I'm judged. So, like, my channel, I just get judged 99% of the time. And, like, Corey's channel, I go and I just talk, and, like, I just have this really great open dialogue. And I'm constantly afraid of promoting it and, like, it just getting to be this space that's not safe anymore.
But it should never be that way. Like, we don't need to make it never like there's no its purpose is to provide that space, and it will grow. I mean, inevitably it will grow.
It will.
But we
maybe
like,
you just
it's our
like,
space.
in the future you need to adapt with how you hand the link out, you know?
Exactly.
You don't just put it in the chat.
That space for me, when you contribute to that space. So, I mean, Rob is kind of like a goofball, and he provides, like, he's a total goofball, and he was just like watching everything. He was watching other people's channels, and we got him to come on and actually, like, he has to prove his accountability to us, and he has grown his business. And I can tell you that he seems like a much happier guy to me, and he's like actually getting.
So it's awesome. It's in a way, it's like a free mastermind. You don't have to pay $100 a month to be in it.
It's
never.
It's a think tank.
I wouldn't participate if it was something that you had to pay to get into. There's no way, and I don't think Corey would ever do that in a billion years. That's not what the space is about.
No.
Never let anybody in that wanted to come in and, like, cause trouble or hawk their services or be like, buy my skin cream, because, like, that is never something that would be allowed.
Corey is obviously using the skin cream, guys. We know.
Mark Swanson just said it best. Like, as an occasional lurker in Corey's space, I really appreciate it. I think we all just, like, even as a content provider, like, I love providing content. You guys know, it's like, I wish I could just do that all day long. And it's just like a different space that I can't really even explain. It's like somebody was watching it today and they texted me and they're like, this is just like watching friends hang out. It's like, that's literally what it is.
Everyone is given the benefit of the doubt, and everyone is given respect. I don't think we've ever really had to kick anybody out, and I'm sure that will happen at some point. And we'll have to moderate that, but like I want it to be a space where you don't come to get kicked out of. Like, you want to be a part of it because it's important, you know? It's not like, why disrupt that space? It doesn't make any sense. I have no fight. I only do it because everyone has done so much for me, and it's a way for me to give back. And I know that like people rely on YouTube for, parts of their income and everything, and I don't bemoan anybody for that, but it's just not part of what I expect as part of like what I do. So I don't know. It's just a really weird experiment. And I mean, last night we weren't even talking. We were just like listing stuff and like grunting at each other, and it was like better than doing that by myself.
Well, then we
that definitely. You're like, yeah, I listed one. Who's up? Who's next? Like, let us know when you're finished listing an item. Like.
But also, like, we started talking about like Nike history for like an hour because that's what you were listing or whatever it was, you know?
Yeah. So some of the, like, you start talking about business and some of the things, and we start having this like business dialogue, and like I've gone back and watched those things, and I'm like, whoa, like we said that, and it's awesome. Like, holy shit. Like, there's been some really, really amazing discourse. I know it's mixed in with like, the reason I put like dumb titles is because I don't want anybody to find it. Reezy was like, you said you made the title butt, and I made it butt because like I don't want anybody. Like, you need to be special, and you need to kind of be like, I'm the guy who clicks on that and watches it. Like, you choose yourself to do it. And then once you're part of it, it's hard. Like, our viewership is very interesting and like involved, and I wish they would all be everyone should be part of the show. The point of the show is to be part of the show,
and I think most people have at least once. But I wish more people would jump in like multiple times.
And I'm not trying to pressure anybody into doing anything that they're uncomfortable with. Oh wait, no, I'm actually not. Like, if you're uncomfortable, it's more of an incentive to do it. Like, the space should kind of make you uncomfortable. Like, hi, this is me. I'm a person. I'm real, and this is what I do. And if you can,
I notice a lot of people, because I kind of teach, like, get on social media, film yourself on a camera, start a vlog. A lot of people are like, I can't do that. And I'm like, they'll tell me that right after we just had a really interesting 10-minute conversation face to face. And I'm like, what do you mean you can't do that? Like, you're clearly a normal human being. Like, you could clearly do that. Like, real quick, I want to give a shout out to Lauren Coal City Loot, because she gave me a $10 super chat, and also to Cameron Life Motivated Faniel, who gave me a $2 super chat. I really appreciate that, guys.
Can I
give a shout out to Lauren too, because she just joined my group for next month. So thanks, Lauren. I'm super excited. Hazel,
does she have an Instagram or a YouTube?
Yeah, Coal City Loot. I posted her in my stories yesterday. It should still be up there, actually.
If she has a YouTube, I think you guys can just click on her name in the chat and go check her out. And her Instagram is the same, right?
63 people are watching.
Oh, that's good. So 63 people, like, if anybody can, okay. Can we make a challenge? Like, Reezy,
the next one, Corey.
Reezy, that money that came in from those guys, can we find like a good cause to give that money to, like helping people get like water somewhere where they don't have water? And maybe I'm actually gonna do a super chat for $50 right now.
You're insane. Don't do that.
Why? Let's help.
Wait, no, hold on. If you're gonna wait, don't do it, because I want to say something.
What?
Look, what are you doing it just to give it to Reezy or to give it to some kid with water?
No, I want to make a donation, and we're gonna work together to donate it to some good cause.
Okay, but listen, if you donate it to Reezy right now, then he's only gonna get about half of it. So why don't you?
Yeah, Nicole knows better than me. I don't even know how it works. Like, I was gonna say, like, sure, donate it, but I don't know when it comes to me, and I know that YouTube only pays me once a month.
Chewed up.
Well, they get chewed hard, like hard.
No, then don't do that. Don't do that. Let's find a way to help some people.
I would rather help people.
But I
That's
will
why I'm
fully
like,
use this $12 to buy you beers when I see you next, Corey.
No, I don't need your. Yes, thank you. You can use 12. I'm going to use $12 to buy you beers.
Okay.
You know what I would
But
like to see?
I always say that to
Okay,
my
I
guests
have an
when I get a
idea.
super chat. I tell people
What's
like,
your idea?
you're the guest.
Thrifty Cali girl on Instagram. I don't know if you guys know who she is. She's going to like Uganda this week, and she's taking school supplies to the kids in Uganda. I bought something for $25, and she's going to use that money to go to Uganda, and she's doing her like last run. So if you want to donate money to a good cause that another reseller is doing, go donate money to that school situation.
We need a link,
Wait,
Kayla.
so
Kayla, where's the link?
I'm looking for it.
Yeah, let's. Thank you.
It's not in her link tree. What the hell?
Well, I think that because it's like last minute now. She's like, she didn't want to push it too much on
I
Instagram.
see in Nepal.
Nepal.
I like Nepal. Actually, I have some sculptures from.
So
Nepal
what she
here.
says is she's placed her store on sales, and so you can do that, and the proceeds will be going to donations. You can also send her a DM if you'd like to just donate directly. So her name is Thrifty Cali, Cali girl.
Cali, like at Thrifty Cali girl.
Yes.
Yeah, here,
So
I'll do a screen share.
If you scroll down just a little bit, you'll see that she's volunteering in Nepal. I'm sure if you wanted to just donate money directly and not purchase something from her store, you could do that too. Just send her a message and I'm sure she can give you that information. And tell her that this evening's chat sent you there.
And there was only $12 in donations, but I will match those donations to. I mean, there were $12 in super chats, but I'll match those to this nice.
Okay, look
Nicole,
at,
do you know? I mean, I'll donate $12, but is it 50%?
It is, yeah. Okay, so
Those
this is
son of a
30 Cali
guns.
girl. I bought this artwork today, and all the money goes to Nepal. Where did you see the thing? Okay, here we go.
Yeah, just scroll down a little bit. There it is.
Here's how you can help. This March, I will be leading a volunteer group in Nepal doing local. I'm not going to read all this, so you get the point. I'm going to post here that Reezy's chat is talking about you.
TLDR.
Awesome.
That's what you should write. I'm just kidding. That would be incredibly rude.
What does TLDR mean? I don't know.
TLDR means too long didn't read.
Oh, see, so I'm old. I'm old enough so that I don't know what abbreviations mean.
It's all good. All of us here are old enough to be like, oh yeah, we used to use dial-up modems. We remember when the internet came out.
I was here before Fleek.
AOL, and that's like recent, but we used to use like, you've got mail. Like we used that.
Dude, I had Prodigy in my house.
I sold on Yahoo auctions.
Oh, I did too.
I sold bootleg DVDs on Yahoo auctions.
Yahoo auctions still exists in Japan?
It does?
Yeah.
I made so much money as a young teenager selling bootleg cartoon DVD sets on Yahoo auctions. All of those cartoons are now available like on official DVDs, but at the time, if you wanted to watch Ninja Turtles, the cartoon, you had to buy a 10 DVD set that I made from VHS episodes that I downloaded off of Pirate Bay.
Holy mackerel.
And they were
Pirate Bay's recent too.
They were going for like $150. I guess I think it was it Pirate Bay back then or was it something else?
Napster was way before Pirate Bay.
Well, this was not like the beginning, but I do fully remember like going. Me and my wife met. We met in high school, but I courted her in an AOL chat room.
What?
No, so I'm at my buddy's house, and I had a crush on my wife, and we're hanging out. I'm staying there at my buddy's house. He's on the computer. I'm like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm talking to Rosa in this chat room." I'm like, "Shut up! You're talking to Rosa?" And he's like, "Yeah, like this chat room." I was like, "Dude, get out of the chair right now." And then I just took over. Sorry,
so you both knew who she was?
Yeah, we went to school together. But like I thought she was out of my league. Like, you ever have that happen where you like think
everyone's out of my league?
Well, I thought she was like, she's obviously super hot Mexican chick, and I was like, she's like out of my league. I can't even talk to her. And then I was like, wait, you're talking to her? Like, get out of here. This is my time.
I like your drive.
Dude, you got to. I know everyone says bros before hoes, but she wasn't a hoe. She was a beautiful lady.
Dude, I want to marry Rosa.
You can't. She's taken.
Rosa is legit the best. When I stayed at his house, she made me feel so welcome. Breezy locked me out. Rosa let me in.
I do not recall locking you out. I recall I wore a blue wig because you had blue hair and I wanted you to feel comfortable.
I remember you locking us all out because you didn't have your keys and we were in the rain.
Oh, that is true.
Ooh, you just got burned. Anyway, I saw the video of you guys making fun of each other on Instagram or whatever, and it was hilarious.
Yeah. I wish you would have saved that and put it on YouTube because so many people still talk about that. When we went to eBay campus, people were like, "Where's your blue wig, Reezy?" People still talk about it.
Dude, that was so funny.
If I would have just showed up at eBay campus wearing the Nicole State wig.
Nicole State really did a good impression of you, Reezy. I'm sorry.
Have you bought my bottle?
Yo, I'm Reezy. I got this bottle, bro.
Oh my god!
It was so
good. Our whole family. The thing is, I don't know if I want you, me, Joe, and Rosa just alone with booze, and a camera.
I mean, you gotta keep some stuff secret, you know.
We went to Disneyland together. It was amazing. I don't want a Disneyland with many people, but I will Disneyland with the Reezys all day.
The Reezy crew.
Who was with you, Nicole, when you came out here? Oh, it was Tony.
Oh yeah,
I love Tony also. Tony's amazing. Luna loves Tony too. Tony and Luna played dolls for 3 hours.
Tony loves, she's the auntie and she brought Luna a whole luggage full of stuff.
Oh yeah, and since then she mailed her some more leggings.
No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did.
That's very thoughtful.
No, they're the best leggings. They're really cool Disney prints, and it's the only thing Luna likes to wear.
Of course it is. My daughter has them too, and I hate them because they're these crazy Disney printed leggings.
Yeah, they're wild all over, Arabian Nights.
Lenny's 4, and she calls leggings long socks. She's like, "Daddy, today can I wear long socks?"
That's so awesome.
She always wants to wear long socks.
Am I the only one? I doubt it, but I never want to correct the way my kids say stuff. I never want to correct them. Keep calling them long socks.
Lexi's sad when she corrects herself.
You guys look in the chat. Lexi's here we were just talking about her mission.
Oh, nice.
Lexi, you need to make it easier for us to give you money.
We're trying to give you money.
We all want to contribute to your mission.
If it was 1 to 3 clicks, I think we would have gave you money.
Can you put your PayPal me link in the chat?
Yeah, I don't want to buy anything. Just give me a link so I can send you.
Yeah, I'm not buying anything. I'm just gonna help your cause.
So if you have a PayPal me, you have your
PayPal.me/Thrifty Cali Girl.
Yeah, whatever it is. You can put it in the chat, I think, and then anyone here can send you a few bucks for school supplies.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That is amazing. The power of community and the internet is amazing.
Michelle M said, "Did anyone else used to chat on ICQ?" Yes, I definitely chatted on ICQ. I also used I forget what it was called, but I used a multi-messaging. It was an app that had ICQ and AIM and
yes, I remember that.
What was the Microsoft Messenger called? MSN Messenger and AIM and ICQ and Yahoo Chat, because no one could make up their mind, so we had to use the multi-chat. But what was it? Was it MSN Messenger that had all the cool games that everyone used to play against each other?
Yahoo.
Was it Yahoo or was it
Yahoo had Pool? No, I played so much Yahoo Pool.
Not on the website, but it was in the chat. I swear it was MSN Messenger that had all the cool games.
Huh.
That was not. I didn't use Messenger, so I was mostly.
I used ICQ and Yahoo Chat. I'm definitely sure.
Do you guys remember when the internet was so slow that you had to play Minesweeper while web pages were loading?
Mm-hmm. Or Solitaire.
Dude, my first internet was a 1200 baud modem that was the size of a brick.
Oh my baud.
Kane React wants us to call him.
What?
No, someone deleted it. He was a troll, but we should have called him. He gave us a phone number.
Just like reverse prank call people.
It's like
Yeah.
It's like, hi, welcome to 1-900. I like your butt.
You tried to prank us. Well, guess what? We're gonna make you hang up.
I have a video on YouTube that's called Butt.
Someone just texted me and said, Lexi, where's the pay link?
We're really waiting. I don't see that she posted something and it was blocked. Thank you, Alexis, for blocking Kanye React.
Flipper Joe's here. Look at that.
Alexis, do you want to join the chat? You can join if you like.
I think she's trying to get a PayPal link for us.
Anyway, so I had an epic weekend.
That's awesome.
Are you going to tell us the story about?
Yeah. Give us the deets, bro.
We really want to know.
Okay, let's get graphic here. Like, what do you want to know?
Everything that's in your head downloaded to us.
Okay,
everything.
So I roll up to the sale, and the person in front of me is just some weirdo, and the person behind me in line is the neighbor, and she's like, I mean, I don't want to, like, because people know who these people are, I don't want to reveal, like, like, is it ethical for me to talk about their lifestyle and who they are? What?
Yes, say it. I have
What's anybody gonna do?
Ready. I've been waiting all night for this.
As long as you're not being disrespectful and you have good intentions, I think that's all that matters.
I agree.
I mean, but my intention is not to share their life as told by somebody else who was sitting on a bench in front of their house.
Sorry,
so you can say, can you just say, like, I was told?
Yeah, I was told they were like a gay couple who were like, they lived together kind of in solitude because of where they lived. It was like not, I mean, it was like culturally accepted or whatever. So they lived there in the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s, and they had this like they had this. They like to collect things, and they both work for Pendleton. The other guy died 10 years ago, and then this dude, like, he only left the house to go to work. Like, he didn't do anything else. He didn't talk to anybody. He didn't go anywhere. He didn't do anything, and they stopped building the house. So for that 30 years, they would build rooms. So they would cut. So the story was, this lady lived there forever. They would basically take a jigsaw, cut a hole in the side of the wall of the house, put down a slab, build a new room, and then decorate that room. And she used to go with her husband, and they would have dinner every couple of months, and they would just build rooms. And sometimes they would just build rooms that were like around other rooms. So this house is like, I don't know, it's like half a block, but it has like 50 rooms in it. And some of the rooms are like so small that you can't even like turn around in them, but they have doors on either side. Like, it's just this crazy, they liked creating these experiences. And the crazy thing is, like, I want to get in there and see, and like document this because it's like so insane, but they're dismantling it and putting it in part of the house. So what the estate sale company is doing is they're going into these rooms, taking it out, and then displaying it in this small part of the house that you can actually navigate through.
This is like the Winchester mystery. It's literally
it's
like
crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy, Nicole.
insane.
Like, it's so
okay, so
crazy.
hold on. I got distracted because Lexi put the thing. So there was two people. Can you tell the beginning again?
It's definitely not wheelchair accessible.
Oh my god, no! There's like sinkholes and stuff. It's like we had to walk across boards to get into the house. I mean, the whole place is crazy, and there was like paintings from like the 1800s.
Okay, so the guy who worked for Pendleton. Can you tell
it seems like they both worked for Pendleton.
Okay, so there was a husband and wife who worked for Pendleton.
No, there was a husband and husband who worked for Pendleton.
Okay, and then what? One of them died?
So they were a couple who lived together, but they weren't. It seems like they weren't married because they were together before you could be married legally in Washington, right? So they just went out and found things. They didn't have kids, obviously, and it seems like what they liked. They didn't have fancy cars, and their house was like like it's ramshackle. It's crazy. Like the inside is this insane cave, and when you look at the outside, the house looks like like a favela from Brazil. I mean, it's just like rooms built like it's all like hammered together by hand and like built on top of itself. And this thing is crazy. You can like go to the Google Earth this thing. It is absolutely.
What's the address?
I'll tell you. Hold on.
Okay, so one of them died, and then the other one, he just never left the house after the other one died.
Correct. So he still had to go to work. I guess he retired a couple years ago, maybe, because the neighbor across the street knew him pretty well, and he knew that the estate sale was happening. So he was having like a garage sale. So I went and talked to him too. And I mean, they were the nicest people you would ever meet. They just like invited everybody in. They love to like take people through their house and show them all this weird stuff that they made. And like everyone who came was like, these were like some of the most interesting and like heartwarming people.
Wow, the house looks crazy from Google Maps. It looks huge.
It's huge.
Can you screen share it?
Where's the address at?
Yeah, I can screen share it.
And I'm gonna block you for a second. Remind me that I locked you on because I forget all the time.
So in those bushes that you were just looking at, in the bushes, there's like all these like concrete animals like hidden in the bushes. It's so weird.
I'm trying to scroll back in now, and I totally lost it.
Yeah, that's not the street.
What if it's just like a regular?
There we go. Oh, there it is.
Oh, it's not. There's nothing regular about it at all.
The
So
neighborhood is
outside, and look, there's like a.
Yeah, dude.
Like obviously,
there's a crow's nest like way up there.
There's like multiple crow's nests. That's not the only one.
So it's safe to say that like it was
Can you lock it? Can you lock it on
insurance nightmare?
Can you lock it on Kayla so we can see?
It is
just
on
click
Kayla.
on her.
You have
Corey,
to click on me.
Oh, I have to click on her. Sorry.
And it looks like it's like very, I mean, overgrown, but not in a like bad way. Just
there's weird things where it looks like people and were buried and stuff. You know, it's like
yeah, there's like all these little like.
How long ago did the dude die? It looks like it's been like
5
it looks like it's been the haunted house for like 15 years.
So they had no children. They had no children, and they were both single children themselves. So he had some distant nieces or nephews or something, and they're administering it.
Their little panda and their flamingos.
The flamingos are awesome, but we couldn't access any of that area. It was off limits.
So this whole section wasn't available.
So we could only go into. So if you go back out to the right, all the way back out, there you go, and go around this corner, you'll see a green. Yeah, turn around. They had put a green bench. So we didn't go in through this door. This is a whole nother house that attaches in. You can see all these crazy like things they built up here.
Is that like a second story flower
there's
garden?
A second story. The estate sale company hasn't even gone to the second story yet.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And basically they were told that there are like if you want like treasures, like serious, like crazy stuff. She said there were like incense burners from like Tibetan temples from the 1200s or something. I don't even know.
Was this the other entrance?
So that's the entrance that we went into, yeah.
Oh.
And there were only 4 rooms that are open, and like I said, there's like 50 rooms in there. And some, like I said, some of the rooms are so small. Some of the rooms are so small that you can only you can't even put your arms out.
What?
So
someone said you should just buy the house, Corey.
So these pictures are really
included.
old, though. So these pictures are really old. So turn to the right, to the left. There's keep going. There's a house in that lot.
Oh, this?
No, the other one.
This one?
Yeah, this one. There's a house here.
Yeah.
There's a house that was in that lot. So I don't know. Can you tell when these pictures were like taken?
2014, it says.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so think about it though. Like, imagine being in that neighborhood and that house is just there.
Like you Well, they knew everybody. All their neighbors were known to because so.
Reezy, stop screen sharing if you are still.
Yeah,
I remembered.
Good job.
So the neighbors knew who they were, and there was no surprise. And they would take people into the house and show them these weird little dioramas. I think everyone who I talked to, and a lot of people from the neighborhood came because they knew what was in the house. You know, I mean,
How has no one broken into this house?
I thought the same thing. I was like, oh my god, there's $100,000 worth of.
I also feel like though, like we know it's $100,000, but the type of people that break into houses don't consider that type of stuff. You know,
they're looking for gold and
if you
jewels.
get a Pendleton jacket, and we know they're worth 400, or we do now. But if you're selling them on a quick flip for like drug money or whatever, what are you going to get? $20 for a jacket? Like you'd be happy. Like you would never think that was worth any money.
The wealth in this house is long wealth.
Yeah, they would steal like your old 2012 computer, which is actually only worth like $200.
Yeah.
So how did you feel in it? That's a good question. When you were inside, did it feel creepy at all, or like weird? Or
so creepy. I told you I was out of there in 7 minutes. Like the hair on the back of my neck was standing up the entire time.
I don't think I can go because I'm very in touch with that sort of thing. And like even now, just like looking at those pictures.
Oh, you have to go though. What are you talking about?
I want to go so badly.
I want you guys to take a 360 camera.
So the lady who runs Aces, we were talking and she was like, yeah, I was doing some things, and then a glass slid across the counter and just totally hit against the wall, and then like I kept plugging this thing in and it kept coming unplugged. Like she was trying to like plug in a heater in the house, and she was saying like the guy liked it really cold, and like it was like really weird. I don't believe in any of that stuff, so like I'm not into it. But
I don't either. That's why I find it so fun. Like I think that's funny.
It's cool. Fascinating piece of real estate. It's just fascinating. So
they're gonna have to tear that house down, though.
They are going to tear it down at the end of this month.
Oh wow!
Yeah. They're building like a multi-structure deal. But this is the kind of place where there's like these guys probably have $1 million worth of gold buried in the backyard. Like we need to get in there with a metal detector. Like when they.
Oh, they probably do.
They definitely have some silver buried for sure.
For sure.
We need to buy it and make it like a reseller house.
I know, dude. I don't. How old were these people? Do you know?
70s.
Yeah. So my aunt is like, she's not that old, but her soul is that old. If that makes any sense. Like she's a vintage clothing dealer. Like funny thing is, I grew up. My aunt is a vintage clothing dealer. She used to drag me to thrift stores, and I would hate it, and I would cry, and I'd be like, "Yo, I really just want new clothes like all the other
irony.
kids." And little did I know that would end up being my damn life. But she knows all. I try to get her to sell online, and she like knows nothing. And she's like, I'm like, well, how do you know this is like worth money? And she's like, because I can tell like by the way it feels, like because the tag is like crumbling, like all this stuff. But like she's always like, do you got any silver, Mike? Do you got any silver? Like you need to get you some silver and bury it. Like. So I guarantee these people have some silver buried.
Corey, buy the plot. Buy the plot.
Buy what? It sounds like it's already sold.
Of course, to someone who knows there's a gold.
Well, I mean, that doesn't stop me from going and prospecting in that yard.
Corey's gonna
during the estate, like go to the estate sale or whatever, get all the stuff you can, and then go outside and start metal detecting and be like, well, I found something here,
My metal detector takes all the silver from the yard.
For
do you have a metal detector?
I have several.
Can I borrow one?
No.
What do you need it for, Nicole?
The prospect in the yard.
You
have to know how to use it, which takes like several months.
No, I have YouTube. I'm real smart.
Dude, there's entire YouTube.
You are very smart
on metal detecting, by the way.
Yeah, there's tons of videos.
I get obsessed with learning, and so I get to learn how to use your metal detector in a day, guarantee.
I bet you $1,000 that you can't.
I smell a challenge.
I bet I can.
$1,000 that you can't.
You don't want to challenge her.
Oh, I do.
Yeah, I would definitely be able to have 24 hours with YouTube and your metal detector, and I'm gonna go find some gold.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I bet you $1,000 you can't. And
You
I'm
can't
going
give
to.
me like a broken one though.
Wait, you bet that
What
she
sucks
couldn't
for
figure out how to
Nicole is that-
use it, or you
what
bet
sucks
that
for
she
Nicole-
wouldn't find gold?
Yeah,
I bet that
that's
she
the
won't
thing that
find gold.
sucks. Yeah, see,
Oh.
Corey, you're safe on saying that.
That's
But-
the trick. Yeah, I
Yeah,
might agree
exactly.
with
I
that.
was like,
Gold
Jane
is one of the
doesn't-
hardest. So gold's pretty crazy. So this is a 22 karat gold.
No. The bet is just that I can learn how to use it.
To find gold.
No, the bet you're saying I
Well,
would.
so you don't technically have to find gold to prove that you know how to use it to find gold.
No,
though.
I would just use,
No,
like, the
you
wedding
have to
ring.
find gold to show that you know how to use it.
Yeah,
That is
I
not
don't know.
the test would be us burying like your ring somewhere,
Well,
and then you going
anybody
and
can
finding
do
it.
that because you know the depth of it already. So pop tops and gold rings are very similar in their like electromagnetic spectrum. So you have to like understand how the detector works and how it detects specific signals. So if you want to say, well, you can, it's like I know how to use use a chisel, but can I create like a mic? Like, can I create the like David? I mean, they're much different.
I feel like that's a terrible analogy.
Yeah, this is not where I'm going with this. Look,
Metal
No,
detecting
no,
is a
hold on,
crazy
real-
art. It's a crazy art, and you have to learn it.
Let me
like
get in.
you
Let me
learn
get in
anything
this
else.
random thought because this is kind of like metal detecting. When I was a kid, and I'm sure this still works to this day, I would go to the McDonald's play place and go to the ball pit, and you go to the center of the ball pit and you dig in the bottom, and I swear to you, I would find rings every single time. Every
You
single
couldn't
time, I would
pay me
find
to dig at a
change
McDonald's ball pit.
and rings in the bottom of the McDonald's ball pit. It's not like, it's kind of like prospecting with a metal detector, but
This is a ring I found metal detecting.
I find stuff like that in the McDonald's ball pit.
okay, I
Like
just want to throw this
this?
out there.
Yeah,
Welcome.
sterling with a obsidian. What is that?
This is old as hematite. This is like Victorian.
No,
So
that's
if
actually
anyone
is a
wants
really
to
nice
know
cut
what
stone.
Corey's chats are usually like,
Yeah,
this is it. This is
Welcome
it
to
right
the
here.
Mighty Mushroom Show.
Welcome
I
to
just
the Mighty Mushroom Show.
moved it over to Reese's channel, right?
Inflated
That's
Hero
right.
says you'll also find some dirty diapers down there. Easy.
I never found that actually, but this was when I was, 12. So
What you find mostly when you metal detect is pop tops and aluminum cans.
you mean like the tabs of soda cans or beers?
Yeah, when they used to pop those beer tops off, because so when the way metals are like the structure of the metal changes the way that it rings the detector. So
You mean
like
it doesn't just go, Corey, there is gold below you.
no.
It should. I feel like there's an improvement for that.
Yeah. Well, there are these new devices that you can actually attune. So you can take like gold of a higher carat, stick it in the machine attunes with it, and it can like douse. There's these new and they actually work, but they cost like $10,000.
So Michelle M in the chat, she said she just looked the house up and it's not publicly for sale, and the last public record is in 81. So if it is for sale, the escrow has not closed or has not been recorded. Go get it, Corey.
Well, it's not gonna. It's going to be a private sale. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, Kayla, Jason Vaughn just joined our group next month too.
Who's
Oh,
that?
snap.
It's gonna be a crazy group next month.
You won't
I
let
hope
me
you're ready
join.
for
I wanted
us.
to join. She wouldn't let me join.
You can. I mean, the link is up. You can pay and you can join.
I'm not paying you.
What he's saying is your services aren't worth money.
I'm joking. I would totally pay.
It's actually gonna be.
I don't pay and I'm not a member, but I get employed to work for the group. So there's that.
I'll work for the. I would. I'll be a part of any group.
Sure. Oh, you should have Corey to your little chatty chat thing you use.
No, I would love to get more clothing and more eBay people in there. It's definitely good.
I'm not particularly a clothing seller. For me, like everything I showed you is like a crazy form of art, and it just happens to be in the clothing form.
All right. Well, I'm sorry for judging you.
All right.
It's
I'm not
awesome
just
because
a clothing
that's
seller.
how I am with
These
eBay.
are-
Also, like I would sell almost anything. When I first started with eBay, I was obviously selling only stuff I knew about, which was like electronics and video games. And then I started to learn about more and more stuff. You know, I would spend hours a day looking at comps, looking at other people's stores. You know that rabbit hole, right? You like looking at comps and then you're like, whoa, then you can tell it's all one person because their background is the similar. And you're like, well, they sell marbles. And then you look at those and you're like, they sell marbles and toasters. And you're like, whoa, toasters are worth money. And then you're looking up toasters. And then you find other people that sell toasters. And then soon enough, you're looking at like Americana or whatever, you know, and then you see one of those things the next day at a yard sale for $2 and it's worth $80. And it's like, it's a really cool feeling when that happens. Like you feel really accomplished. I feel zero accomplishment when I scan something with a barcode scanner and my software says that's worth $200. I don't care if I can buy it for a quarter. If it goes, even if it's worth $500, I can buy it for a quarter. Cool. I made $400, but I don't get excited like I do when I'm like, you know, there's no archaeology to Amazon.
No, there isn't. There's no soul to Amazon, actually, but
I feel the same. I agree heavily.
Anyway, so yeah. I'm just like picking things. So I haven't been down to this desk in months because I moved out of my basement, but this is a piece. So I bought this in a estate sale in Argentina, and the woman claimed to be a descendant of the Queen of Denmark, and this was part of like a crown, and it was, see, it's like welded to a ring, and I went to
part of a tiara,
part of a crown, like a royal crown. So she got a part of the crown, and she liked me, so she sold it to me.
What did you pay for that?
I don't know. Very little. I don't remember. $40 roughly, probably.
So are you finding stuff that you need to list?
I have a weird collection of stuff. Look, this is on my desk.
This is a random Sony Walkman.
White metal Walkman.
I've never seen that one.
Probably everyone else you've ever met has never seen one either.
Can you open it up so I can see the sides and the inside?
Yeah, this is the cover that. So I was actually repairing this, but this is serial number 62,000.
Weird.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I used to have a super cool yellow and black waterproof with bass boost Sony Walkman.
What does that sell for on Amazon?
That Bose remote?
Yeah.
Probably like $5, $10.
No way.
It depends, unless it's for like a super sought after system.
Yeah, the acoustic wave. Very sought after system. $5, you think?
Yeah, I have no idea. I usually would sell remotes on eBay, which is one thing like a lot of people don't know. Remotes are worth huge money. Like there's so many remotes. Like the thing is they're always going to cost you like $1, if that. Like no one in a secondhand market prices a remote. Like I can go to the thrift stores that like I am mad at. They price things so high, and their remotes are $2 max, and you will regularly find remotes you can sell for $20, like pretty easy.
Just because you see something somewhere that's outside of its normal value realm, that should be an indicator that like they don't understand the true value, and that you should look to see where there are gaps on the because like everything is like standard deviation is like followed. It's weird. There's a natural law, and if things are like over here, things are going to be over here too. You know, there's like a bell curve. Like the sale that I went to like last week where I bought like tons of gold, so far under market value, but they wanted like $30 for old VCRs that you couldn't even test, you know, like
right.
$50 for a dirty vacuum cleaner. Like,
yeah, I don't know how people come up with it, but I think it has to do with like a lot of different factors of who's making the prices. So like
law of averages, though, once you get into these big numbers, you can't deny that there's a mathematical equation to life.
Okay, but did you guys ever watch GilDaddy? Do you remember that channel? They don't post videos anymore. Do you remember that channel, Reese?
Mm-mm.
Okay, GilDaddy was, I think, the first channel years ago who actually went into Goodwill outlets. Like, and so him and his wife would go to Goodwill outlet like every day. They show their haul, and they would do like remotes, Barbie, like weird things like that. but like remotes were like a big thing. They made crazy money with remotes.
They must have caught so much hate.
Oh, well, that was before it was like even I was around. So like I caught a lot of hate in the beginning, and now it's pretty common. But they caught so much hate. Then they went into private label, and their last videos are about like going to China, and like they have like a huge private. They just built like $1 million house, and like
I remember watching one of their videos where they had like their entire living room was just like wrapped up stuff that was going to Amazon, like Rock Band guitars. They had like 50 of them all going to Amazon.
But they started selling on eBay like remotes from the outlet.
That's awesome. A lot of people, I feel like for some reason, I feel like the Instagram community is like way more thick on the outlet. Like YouTube, did you know people call it the bins? Did you know that? Because on Instagram, that's like pretty popular.
What?
I never knew that people called it the bins until I met all of you guys on the Instagram community. I've heard it called the outlet, the bargain outlet, Goodwill bulk, but I never heard anyone call it the bins until I started going on.
I think that's
on
like
Instagram.
a West Coast way to describe it.
No, he's in California. I think it's an Oregon way, and I think because I was kind of one of the first people to do like YouTube videos about it, I kind of spread that.
In that Macklemore song, doesn't he call it the bins? He's like, you could find me at the bins.
Yep.
Right?
Oh yeah.
So like then like when I realized I put it all together, but I still love that song. Shout out to Macklemore.
So when I moved here in 2001, when I moved from New Orleans to Portland, I had a tiny little trailer that I dragged behind me, and I was talking to some people, and I was like, well, where do I get furniture? I need this, I need that. They're like, go to the bins. And it was, so now there's a giant like weird gear sculpture there, but where the Goodwill outlet is now, it was actually across the street, and it didn't even have lighting, and nothing had pricing, and there was no wait. So you would go in and just grab some stuff, and there would be an assessor, and they would give you a price. And like I remember walking in and getting like a Herman Miller chair I just walked in. There was a Herman Miller chair, and I was like, "How much is this?" And the guy's like, $4.
Did they modernize your guys' bins?
What's up?
Did they modernize your guys' bins?
This wasn't even, they called it the bins because they were actually like stuff was in garbage cans.
Yeah, so they moved the one that was in my town. They moved it an hour away, but they modernized it at the same time. So now it has air conditioning, and it has a bathroom. It has running water. It didn't
have running water.
No, it didn't have a bathroom. It didn't have running water. It was an asphalt, a huge metal barn that was hotter than Satan's butthole, with an asphalt floor that like had never been mopped or cleaned ever, and you had to wear a dust mask or you'd be like sneezy and boogered up for like 2 days every time you went.
No, he sent me pictures. It was literally in a old barn,
and everything because we're like in the produce area or whatever. Everything wasn't in bins. It was in Gaylords, but they're shorter than regular Gaylords. They're produce Gaylords. They're plastic cubes. They're about 3 feet tall or whatever. But it was just like you say, it was like just crappy enough to make most people never want to go there ever.
Yeah.
But still beautiful in its own way.
The quality of the one that's near my office has declined so bad that I go in there to buy perfume and knives because they put those in the front case. And I've done some sessions to buy clothing and electronics, and I like to sell. I sell high quality items. I really do, and I pride myself on that.
What's your average sale price?
$44, maybe more than that. What?
My eBay average sale price doesn't really matter because I don't list enough to like hit that like point where it matters or whatever. But my Amazon average sale price is $14, so 48 is pretty cool.
That scares me on Amazon. My average Amazon sale price is like $47.
Right now, still.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. What are you selling?
Everything.
But you're obviously not selling like Pendleton or whatever that random stuff you find at like you're selling like electronics and stuff.
You don't sell art on Amazon.
You're selling electronics, right?
I sell a lot of media, so when I come across ink or diskettes or cassettes or specific CDs, I do a lot of remote controls, a lot of Sony products, tons of what else is a lot of what I do. I used to do a ton of CDs and stuff, but it doesn't work out. But what's really awesome is I'm approved in like beauty and a lot of those things. So I do like it's sealed perfume, sealed like they're non-prescription medical parts kind of. I mean, I could show you like my current like batch that I was building today, and you'd be like, "Wow, you sell catheters on Amazon."
Yeah, well, it is whatever. Did you scan those with the Amazon Seller app? Right.
Yeah.
So just stuff that you come across and you're like, oh, okay, I'm gonna scan this. And
if it's new in the box and it has a high value, I send it to Amazon. The problem is people return stuff for no reason and they screw things up. And then if they mark it defective, Amazon screws you over because anybody can just basically do anything and they can send you back a rock. And if they mark it defective, you have no recourse. So Amazon, the new agreement says that if the customer marks it as defective, it's your problem.
So Amazon Seller 99 was just asking a question about recent Amazon long-term storage fee increases and how that's going to affect Amazon book sales. I actually did a video about that just like less than a week ago with Caleb Roth, the data god. And so he's religious, so he probably would be bummed that I called him that. But go check that video out. I'll put a link for that up here. And like if you're watching this like tomorrow, it's probably not there yet, but I'll remember eventually. Go check that out. But I thought it was really interesting, guys, and it can't be a coincidence that eBay rolled out their spring update and Amazon introduced long-term storage fee like changes, like really significant changes, all right at the same time.
I mean, they're just like, hey, we have you by the balls. Like, we're just gonna take your stuff or pay for it. I mean, that mentality to me is just like, I think it's, I mean, it's good for their business, but it's bad for everybody else's business. And if they don't want third-party sellers, that's fine, but like, draw a true line in the sand. I mean, I really wish there was a union of sellers to create our own platform, but
that would be so sick. Like a platform. Where's Thrift Shop Hustler so we could discuss like a reselling platform based on cryptocurrency?
Oh, Jesus.
Everything. Based on everything. You can pay any way you want. What?
You said the man ask it. Hey, Reezy, why don't you ask about chickens next?
Oh, Jesus. I have to go.
Oh, my God. Is that a beautiful hairless cat?
I didn't even talk about cryptocurrency. Everybody kissed my ass.
Oh, God, we're joking. Calm down.
What's the faux pas that I missed out on?
Okay, so he has this thing. He's going to start a chicken thing. And if you start talking about chickens on the Mighty Mushroom channel, it goes on for like an hour about the chicken decision maker. Tell Breezy about the chicken decision maker. Go ahead.
I am not talking about anything.
Okay,
what is the chicken decision maker?
So I think that one of the problems of society is that people can't
look what I just pulled out of my animal crackers. I swear I couldn't make it up. I wasn't even looking. I just pulled a chicken out.
Oh my God.
I swear to God, I just pulled it out of my animal crackers.
Indecision is the bringer of death. Okay, like everything stops when decisions aren't made, and in order for
have some kind of like internet-based chicken real life button presser, and then the chicken gets to decide for you.
Yeah. So I dress up as a chicken, and I.
Oh, you're the chicken? That's not fair.
No.
I dress up as a chicken, and I hit a button, and the button randomly makes your decision.
They already do that though. They're already like, let's see where the turkey goes to see who's gonna win the Super Bowl. They already do that.
You're a turkey.
You just crushed a man's hope and dreams today.
I did Kayla's job. I did Kayla's job.
It's usually my job. Thank you very much.
Well, you've been doing so much work. I figured I would kick in. Like, this is my channel, and I feel like I haven't. I seriously sat and didn't say anything for like 12 minutes at one point.
Did you think this was your show?
Yeah.
We're here to take over.
Kayla's the only voice of reason.
Wait,
I like how this show has devolved into the Mighty Mushroom
Did
Show.
we just invent something? Do people do YouTube channel takeovers? I have never heard of that.
I'm sure that's a thing.
I think we just took your channel over and made it the Mighty Mushroom Show.
No, we did, especially at the
Valerie.
end. But what I'm saying is that, like, I've never heard about that. What if, like, that's actually like a really cool concept?
It
Because
is.
like, what if like I posted my next vlog on your channel and I was like, guys, I posted a new vlog. I took over Corey's channel and posted a vlog. Go check it out. Like,
He was gonna do it.
I would totally allow that.
that actually would be kind of cool. Like,
I really like that idea.
Purple Seller said it is a thing, and now you crushed my dreams.
I was gonna say I just looked it up, and there's 2.2 million results when I look it up on YouTube.
For what, channel takeover?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? It can be our original idea because we had it.
Reseller channel takeover.
We didn't look to see if somebody else was doing it. We're not mimics. It was
Sorry,
our
guys.
idea.
Cincinnati Picker and Garage Flips do it.
Oh.
Really? So
That
they're
sounds
like two
amazing.
people and they take each other's channel over regularly? That just seems like they share channels.
Exactly.
The best
No,
thing
this is like this would be like Renegade.
I searched reseller channel takeover, and the second video is a video by this what's her name? Statesplace?
And whose channel?
It says Virginia and DC eBay reseller takeover.
Oh yeah, that was when we went to DC and we took over.
Yeah.
You
So-
did it on someone else's channel.
No, that was my title for that show.
Okay,
It wasn't
okay.
like no, but I think contributing content and having a network where you're like, hey, this is our trusted network, and like, here's why. I really love. I like collaboration.
I agree in that because I feel like we should do, and that's why I really like your thing, like how you do it, like what we're doing right now, because I feel like a lot of YouTubers and especially in our niche, reseller YouTubers, but maybe I'm just like, that's all I know about. I feel like people feel like they're competing against each other, and I do not feel like I'm competing against anyone at all. You know, like nobody, like so-and-so's talking crap about you. I'm like, who's that? I didn't know they existed until you said that, you know, like, and I never think that like, oh, Rally Roots is getting so many views, like that means I'm not getting views. Like, I don't think like that, you know? But I do think that we all can provide value to each other's audience, or like can help each other with discoverability in a way that won't hurt each other at all. So maybe there's like some, like maybe we could, like, what if we could do this, but get like 10 YouTubers on this at a,
All right.
You can do 15 people on a Google Hangout.
We're all business people, right? Like we resell because it's what we're good at right now. It's not that maybe it's what we'll be good at forever. So building those connections and having like building, digging the ditches that make the river flow out to the ocean, I mean, it's a good idea. I think that's the highest level of collaboration, understanding like this is where we are and where we're going is definitely somewhere different. It might be congruent with what we're doing now, but having a network of people who can communicate ideas effectively is really awesome.
An idea that I just came up with. You know how TV channels work, which is like what people are used to watching, which they still are programmed into. How TV channels work is they run 24 hours a day. Like they kind of run really crappy at night and like probably replay sometimes if you're up late at night. You're like, oh, I should go to bed. I watched this episode 2 hours ago. Like, what if there was a YouTube channel that always had something on, maybe live? I don't know. I think you can stuff pre-recorded videos into YouTube lives with the right software.
Absolutely.
What if you had a YouTube channel that ran live 24 hours a day and you just filled it up with content from other resellers? So you like, of course, with their permission, but you know what I mean? It was like 6 o'clock is Mighty Mushroom Show, 7 o'clock is Reezy Resells, 8 o'clock is Rally Roots, like, and then like, I don't know, just some like, just like one place you could go to just like
curated
content
content cycle.
I have a better idea. Well, I don't know if it's better, but check it out. What if we just start a channel and we call it like Reselling Central, and we just let it be like this all the time?
And people can just pop in as they see fit.
And we just have the link that's like available, in the chat at all times, and people are reposting it, and people can come and go, and like whatever.
People all around the world, and we need pop-ins. So like
the only
Mighty
problem
Mushroom
with that
pops
is that it
in.
has to be one. Like YouTube lives, I think are limited to 6 hours, right, Nicole?
Right. So someone else would have to every 6 hours. Someone would have to start it.
Right, and it would have to have started from somewhere all the time. You don't have to be present, like you can start it and then leave, but it has to be started from a central location. That makes me think that maybe we can like buy a computer that's in the cloud somewhere that we could start them from.
Or just have people around the world who initiate the new session.
Well, every 6 hours, someone's in charge of initiating the new session, right? So like if as long as someone can start it, that's all you need, essentially.
I feel like we should hire a VA to do it. And
no.
Not to be participate in it or anything, just to make sure that it starts every 6 hours again. And then
we need an overlap and like backups. I don't think we need a VA. I think it needs to be started again by somebody
it's delicate,
who has an
right?
interest in the marketplace.
Like you said, once it grows like this, we can't just be putting the link in the description.
No.
You know what I mean? It would have to
It would
be
get
like,
messy.
okay, you've been showing up, and like, okay, so like you get the link.
You get a time slot though. It's like your privilege is that you get to start a time slot and you start where the conversation is going. Like,
well, and also like, okay, so like we started with like 20 people or whatever, and then those 20 people have the rights to invite more people in, right? So like you're like the gatekeeper almost, to where you're like, okay, well, you're cool, you've been coming in the chat,
right?
like
You can co-sign people.
Yeah, yeah, it's like
and then those people that you co-sign also have the ability to co-sign, right? Like you have to keep the traction.
So in a way, this would be like your infinite source of coworkers.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, there would always be a place to come and talk to people. But I mean, this isn't a perfect world, but it's, you have to expect that there's going to be a lot of hiccups in the beginning. But I think that it's absolutely, like, you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and people are listing in like Australia, and you're like, holy shit, you found like this crazy shit in Australia. Yeah.
Well, it's a lonely job that like having the ability to just like tune in whenever you're super lonely, even if it's just like a chat that's active, if you're not actually on the screen talking, like it changes. It may be. So here's the thing is like most resellers leave the game within a year. And my constant thought is like, how do I slow that churn down? Like, how do I keep resellers longer? Like, how do I get people to not give up on this,
Totally.
Because if you can get to that 2-year mark or whatever it is and meet those goals, like, you might be able to live a life that's the life you want to live.
That is true.
Good night, Valerie. It's 3:22 a.m. I guess in the
because it's
Easternville
daylight
savings times. Probably pretty soon Luna's gonna fall asleep if she's not asleep already, and then Rosa's gonna want to come to bed, because I know this looks like a beautiful studio, but it's really my bedroom, and my bed is right there, and it's not made, and this is just like, this is all facade. There's dirty socks everywhere.
Really exposed.
There's another chicken you've been exposed. Well, this is your show, and you can end it whenever you'd like. But future collaborations will happen.
Absolutely.
I feel like we came up with 2 ideas, though. One idea is essentially the Mighty Mushroom Show all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it kind of, it's almost like BitTorrent or Bitcoin, where it like runs on itself, devoid of like whether you want to shut it down or not.
It's Fight Club.
And then it's Knowledge Brain Club. And then the other one is like syndicated content, like with permission, published, like ongoing, and everyone could, like, if you could make it in a way where people wanted you to share their video because it would drive people back to their channel. So like we're showing videos, like, because there's so many videos every day, so I guarantee you could get like 12 videos a day to post from all a bunch of different resellers, and then you could just watch one channel. But then if you really like Thrift Shop Hustler's crypto thing, you could go back and see his channel and get more of that or whatever, So like, I feel like there's some value to creators and to the audience.
You want. So it has to be some kind of consensus network too. It's like, hey, we want to add this content. Everybody, like, we reach, if 51%, they come on. 49%, sorry, you gotta apply again. It
It's
could,
kind of like curated aggregation.
yeah.
But
Well,
it's very curated.
It's peer reviewed, consensus based exposure. So if you're awesome and your message is great, like we'll be like, wow, your message is great. Like, how could we exclude you? And if it's like, oh my God, this guy's talking about how you can sell bottle caps on eBay, like we're not going to put that, we're not going to associate with that, you know? So
bottle caps, those are disgusting.
Well, like maybe that guy's interesting though. I mean,
yeah, no, you never know, man.
Be interesting.
I always tell people like they're like, how do I know what to sell on eBay? And I'm like, learn how to look up comps, and then like if that's not fun for you, you're probably not going to like eBay. Like,
yeah,
that's
I don't think the entrepreneur lifestyle is right for like 95% of people.
Right.
I
don't even know if it's right for me half of the time.
Yeah.
Depending what hour you ask me during the day.
If you asked me on Tuesday whether I thought I'd be like doing this for the rest of the year, I might have said, God, man, this is a bad week.
Right? I don't know.
But the trick is being able to ride that out without, metaphorically
being all in,
right? Because the common theme that's kind of been on this thing is it's the law of averages, right? It's yesterday sucked, but tomorrow will be better. Oh, tomorrow sucked. Well, the next day will be better. Like, well, 12 days in a row were pretty bad, but like, I think that's what really defines someone who stays in the game for a year and someone who gives up is the person who, like, maybe it's like you're willing to eat top ramen for a month because like you just didn't find anything good for like a whole month. So you're like, so you have to go, okay, babe, we can't eat out this month. Like, we're not drinking no more orange juice. We're drinking water this month. And then you get like back in your stride and you find a new honey hole or whatever it is, because that's exactly how it was for me coming up and how it still is. You'll have like the person, and like you see this, right? Because doing what we do, especially if you have like regular spots you go to, there'll be new people that come, right? And they're always super snide when they first come. They're like, we know what you're doing. We can do it too. And then you're like, okay, cool. Like, we'll see if you're still here in a week, let alone a month, or, and like, I've been selling books for almost 14 years now, and the bins just moved like last year. And up until last year, me and my wife were still like the last people who became regulars in the book niche at the bins. And that's like a small segment of like the whole reselling thing. But I just look, how many hundreds of people came and were like, we're going to do this now. We know what you're doing, and they just can't survive through like 1 week of suck or 1 month of suck, So it's like, I think entrepreneurs are like those people that can just like take the suck and just keep going.
The average American taxpayer can't go one paycheck without going broke.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, that's real as F.
And that stands for the guy with the Maserati and the guy who drives the Pinto. Okay.
Wait, are you saying like even like the people we think are well off are like check to check?
Yep. There's a check cashing place on the way where I drive back from work, and there's way more Mercedes there when I pass than there are other things.
Yeah, so, I know a lot of people that like they get caught up in that because I think we're raised into this system where they're like, just make $100,000 a year and you'll be rich. Like I fully thought that $100,000 a year was rich. Now I'm 75% of the way there myself, and I can't even save money. Like, obviously where I live is really expensive, but it's not a lot of money, right? Like, it's just not. And it's like some people would, they make a little bit more money, then they just get a nicer car, or then they eat out more, or they get a nicer whatever is going on. It's like they still have no money. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I never want to have that giant castle house. Like, I wouldn't mind having like a chef or like a meal prep person and like a maid once a week or something, but I never want that giant house. Like, I feel like a house is a prison in some form. Like, I want to get out of my house. Like,
well, do you know the word what the word mortgage means?
It sounds like mortuary.
Mort is death, and gage is pact in Latin. Death pact.
Well,
That's disgusting.
It's true, and
I mean, I don't own a house. Who here? Kayla, you own a house. Do you own your place, Corey?
No, but I don't want to live in a place that I own. I want to own like multiple property. I mean, I want to own multiple properties other people live in,
and then rent where you live.
Exactly, so I can be like pretty mobile, you know.
Yeah, it sounds about right. You get tied down to a place.
This place is amazing. Like being able to start my business in this basement to get to the next level, like really pin it down in that way and not have to worry about like all the bills associated with owning something. I mean, dude, the market's in a bubble. I know that maybe people are telling you that it's not, but we were looking at plat maps, and the city of Portland said this house was worth $182,000 and the market price was $475,000. That's a huge gap.
That's crazy. Cameron in the chat, he said, build a yurt. And I just wanted to comment, it's funny. Where I live, yurts are outlawed. You cannot build a yurt on your property. It's not allowed.
What?
In Santa Cruz?
Yeah, in Santa Cruz County, not allowed.
Well, I mean, I'm not really sure why the government exists sometimes, because those kind of things is like...
It's my land. What the hell are you to tell me what to do?
Yeah. Like...
But I mean, I get it all the time. People constantly tell me, like, Nicole, you're broke because you live in a townhouse. And like Joe and I just had one car for a long time because we wanted to be able to like buy a second car with cash or whatever. But like, no, I'm actually like not broke. I'm doing okay. And that's because of the way I live within my means. Like, we don't have a single credit card. And maybe that's not actually smart. But like at the end of the day, like, we don't want to be in debt at all.
You don't buy your inventory with credit cards?
I don't have any credit at all.
You got to get on that train, man. You're missing out.
I buy
on so
all
many
of my inventory. I buy as much inventory with credit cards.
No, I don't want my business to ever be like.
Well, I mean, you can pay it off every month, but it's also a great way to build up credit is to use it and then pay it off before they.
I don't want credit. I don't want credit.
You absolutely want credit.
You only need credit. The only reason you need credit is because you don't have cash to buy something.
No, that's kind of true and not true, but I would say that right now I have enough air miles to take a trip to Dubai for free. And
dude, I can fly around the world right now.
Honestly, like, very simple, guys. You guys own a business. You should set up PayPal to use your credit card instead of your PayPal as a funding source for postage. And then pay all your postage with a credit card, and that's just air miles you're throwing away if you're not doing that.
Dropping knowledge, the Rees.
Maybe. I still don't think that I want to have any.
With Amazon, it's all like built into Amazon, so they take it out of my Amazon fees, so I can't do it. But I did Amazon before I did FBA, and we had to use stamps.com to print postage and pull our orders into stamps.com, and it was like thousands and thousands. Like, literally, we used to just get a new card, and then, it's like, if you get a card and spend 10,000 in the first 3 months, you get 50,000 air miles. And we would just get like 20 different cards, and then if you get the right cards where the miles are compatible, you can like push them all into one account. It's insane what you can do with it. Like, seriously, I don't pay for
Points Guy. Have you ever read about the Points Guy?
Yeah, there's a couple guys. So I don't pay for hotels, I don't pay for rental cars, and I don't pay for flights, and it's all with air miles.
Yeah, dude. I basically went to eBay Open last year for free. It's great. I mean, it itself was free, but I didn't pay because I got all of it.
So Reseller Mom had a good question. She was saying, do you think miles are better than cash back? And I think so myself personally, and there's a few different reasons. One is that we use our miles for personal, me and my business partner share them, and we use them for personal things. And we just buy, if we need like hotels or cars or flights for business, we just buy that with business money. It's an expense. But then the miles that we generate are like a perk that we get on a personal level. And I do believe that the miles are way better than cash back. Not all the time, but if you use miles in the right way, they are worth way more than the cash back on a credit card. And you can see, like, I've booked flights in an airport like 2 hours before they take off with miles. and it cost me, well, like just put a number on it. Let's say it's 10,000 points for a one-way. And that's the same it would cost for that same flight booked 3 months out. And if you were to buy that flight with cash, it would be like an $1,200 flight or something because you're buying it right before it takes off. So there's just this weird thing with air miles where, like, for example, you could be booking a hotel with air miles and then be like, okay, a 1-bedroom, like with a twin bed, and you like upgrade it to like a double queen or like to a suite. Like sometimes the points amount doesn't change when you're getting upgrades like with your points. So I just love points way better than cashback. That's just my opinion.
I'm on your
okay, but going back to the topic here, the topic was that like people live beyond their means.
Yep.
And I was just saying I don't have any credit cards or like we pay cash. Like I don't ever want to live beyond my means, you know?
Right. No, I understand.
But I don't think you understand how that type of
No, but I'm not. Aside from the credit card thing, I get that whole point. We were talking about a different subject altogether. We were talking
about having credit.
What?
You're talking about having credit in general, having good credit.
I'm talking about owing people money.
Right.
I'm saying the vast majority of America owes a lot of people or a lot of institutions a lot of money. And that is the issue. And I never want to get myself in that position where my family or my business owes money to anybody. And that's why I live the lifestyle that I live, even though I guess I could afford to have a greater lifestyle.
No, I'm fully not saying to have a lifestyle. I'm saying maintain the same lifestyle that you got, but because you have good credit, you can buy a 5-dwelling apartment building and then rent that out, and the rent that you get from those 5 rooms is 50% more than your mortgage that you owe on the apartment building. But if you don't have good credit, your monthly payments are going to be 50% more than what you are if you have good credit. So do you have a 900 credit score? Do you have?
But if I had the money to just buy it cash, who cares?
Who has the money to buy an apartment building cash?
Yeah, very very few
like
people.
Anyway,
so
like I don't want to ever get a mortgage
no, but you want to be able to leverage cash flow. Okay, so let's say I can't afford a $600,000 apartment complex. Okay, let's say I can buy one in Portland, a 4-plex for $600,000. I know it's not true, but let's just say it is true. Let's say $1 million, whatever. I can't use stated income on a personal loan, but I can use stated income on a business loan. So I can show cash flow and call cash flow income, and I can use that cash flow to leverage to buy a business property. And that's pretty crazy. So stated income just came back like early last year.
And there's so many more levels to it. That's like, if you notice, there's like this trend. Everybody who makes any decent amount of money deals in realty, and it's because you can hide so much income inside realty properties, right? There's all kinds of write-offs.
Like 1080 exchanges and all that stuff.
All kinds of ridiculous things. Like my buddy Ernson at Tech of All Trade on Instagram, he does realty too, and he was just explaining to me all the loopholes with depreciation of property value, of the house value, of like renovating it, it's just insane how you can get away with all these things. Like, and you like have a corporation, and then the corporation is like the overall entity that like deals with everything. And you have a business over here, and then you have a realty, and like you were going to own 500,000 in taxes of profit from this business, but your corporation took it and put it into a realty property. Now you're like break even. You're like, well, I got no profit, no tax for me.
I actually have liabilities because I spent money. Instead of paying taxes on the money, you roll it over into equities, and then you don't pay tax on those equities. You pay capital gains later, but there's no risk on capital gains, right? So yeah, but you need cash flow or capital to do that, or both.
So why can't I just have the money from my business and buy an investment property with that cash and not take a
business
loan
to do that? Just go buy it.
Right. I'm saying, like, why do I need a loan? I don't want a loan. I want to buy it outright and then make money that way and not have to pay anyone anything. Like, I won't do it. Like, I don't want to take loans. I don't want to have credit cards. I don't care, because if I have enough cash flow, I don't need any of that. Like, fuck all of that.
So, but there's very few ways that you can beat inflation, right? You can't like save money to beat inflation. So you have to put your money somewhere so that you can at least beat inflation. And real estate grows in value often like 10, 12% per year sometimes, even though it goes through bubble phases. Real estate will always go through bubbles, but it will continue to go up because there's no more land being made. You know, gold is going to go through bubbles. Silver is going to go through bubbles. I think silver is...
Well, like it's even more simpler for that. Like, so for example, where I live, not even a great house is $1 million. It's not a great house. It's $1 million. If you're talking about buying a like actual dwelling that's like separate, it's not like a piece of a, like a townhouse, a piece of something or whatever. So that's $1 million. The likelihood of me having $1 million to buy that property is very low. I'm not saying I'll never have $1 million, but even if I did have $1 million because I worked and I saved it up, would I really want to relinquish that $1 million on the spot? Why wouldn't I rather get a mortgage for $1 million for putting down 10 to 15%, 100 or 150,000, and then have the 750,000 that I could
invest in other properties? It's like buying on margin,
or to run the business. Like, let's think of it like, say you had exactly $1 million.
But you don't have any money. Like, so where you don't own anything, somebody else owns that. You don't own it. Yeah, but
you can still do all the same things
ownership
you can do with
and
it.
Equity.
You can start renting it out. You can start I can.
But you still have a payment that you have to make, and you have
right. But it's not what is your monthly payment going to be versus? I mean, it is yours in all sense. If I could buy it today, still own the bank, 850,000.
You
I
can
can
sell
it tomorrow for 1.1 million, pay the bank off what I owe them, and then pocket 100,000 or whatever.
Yeah.
But
you have the quit claim deed.
But what I'm saying is that it's less risky. It's less risky to have credit and to take the mortgage, because then I have that 850,000 that I can continue living off of.
Which phase of the bubble you're in, and I think that we're in a very, very risky state because interest rates are going to rise here very, very quickly.
So get this, I have this is awesome. I just remembered this. I have like this theory or prediction, and it's insane. But you know how Amazon is training the consumer to shop more online? Everything's going on. We all sell online, right? Retail is dying. We know this, right? Like, the retail things that are surviving are like the service industry, like cafes, like things where you go to do something, right? Or like the retail businesses where they sell stuff, like they're always like, they got to get cool, like why you want to go there, you know what I mean? Like, retail is dying, right? So like,
it's dead.
Yeah, it's going to go even more, and it's going to get accelerated even more. So there's going to be all these, like, picture like every Best Buy and Toys R Us completely empty, right? Then they have these huge buildings and they're just empty, and they can't get any businesses to move into them because realty is dying. No business wants to open inside of a Toys R Us. Like, it's a waste of money, right? So the price that businesses would be willing to pay to move into the newly empty Toys R Us is so low that the real estate companies are going to mow down the commercial properties and make them into real estate, because you can always sell homes. They're in high demand, right? So that's going to increase the amount of homes in the market, and then the housing market is going to drop because the supply is going to increase dramatically as the transition to commercial demand for commercial realty drops because of shopping is moving to online. Does that make sense?
I mean, it does.
I mean, what else are they going to do with all the empty Best Buys and Toys R Us?
I see what you're saying, but the question, like, yeah, I mean, they're going to have to do something, definitely.
And there's like a never-ending demand for homes, especially if the price is right.
Isn't that hilarious? Like, where there were homes, then big box came, and then there's going to be homes again where big box was. Like, the big box generation didn't last very long.
Yeah, so someone in the chat was asking about zoning laws. Laws can change if, like, economies are dying, right? So if there's no Best Buy and Toys R Us and Circuit City or Fry's or what, if they're all, there's 50,000 square foot warehouses that are empty and there's 3 of them and they're on like star A-class locations, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to have to figure something out. Those companies pay a lot of money to the local economy.
Automation is going to change everything. So can I give a little This is my
Dude,
prediction.
the robots are coming, bro. The robots are coming.
So this is the first step. So and it starts with Amazon, and Amazon says, okay, we're going to have deliveries. They're going to be really fast, but we're going to send you a barcode on your phone, a QR code, and you got to get out to the truck unless you're disabled. You're going to have to get out because they're going to have to figure that out. But you go out to the truck, you scan the barcode, it goes, and then your package gets spit out, right? So you've provided the security. The packages don't get stolen anymore, and they can be really fast.
Right.
So it can know your tendencies. If you're always 5 minutes late coming out to scan your thing, it'll be there 5 minutes late.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. I have a similar thought on this, is that I think that there's going to be a weird period where for a while, we're all going to be like, well, I need a job. Like everyone's going to lose their job because robots are going to take everyone's job or whatever. And I don't really know the answer to that, but I believe that after a while, the prices for everything, if the job is having a robot do it, the price should come down dramatically. So whether it's like the burger flipper, and I've seen it, these are already in action, and McDonald's probably worldwide will have them. There's no more McDonald's position where you flip the burger. There's a robot arm that flips the burger. So the prices in burgers are going to come down, and they're going to have to come down because they're not paying labor. And so when McDonald's, but it's going to take for McDonald's and Burger King to compete against each other in that marketplace. And then the prices are going to have to come down. So maybe we go into the future where like we don't have to work 40-hour weeks because everything's much cheaper.
Yeah. So I know this rocket scientist. He goes to estate sales. He worked for IBM and NASA. He worked at Los Alamos, and I randomly met him in the line of an estate sale. He lives here in Beaverton, and he worked for some other companies too. And he's like talking about like future of marketing and who gets the coupon and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, dude, you are disillusioned. Like this guy was like so far from reality. It's like, where does the money come from? He's like, dude, universal basic income, because that is the only way for people not to have jobs. There has to be universal basic income. And when like the question is like, how does commerce flow? Because it has to be central. Commerce in some way has to be centralized. I know cryptocurrencies are decentralized, and currencies are becoming decentralized, but there has to be some kind of like, the money has to come from somewhere. The production has to go somewhere. There has to be like, based on the current system. So there has to be a paradigm shift on the way that like money works.
Right.
Like we're living in the past right now.
That's why I really feel like crypto is legit. But like, I know people that are like, my business partner, for example, he's like, that stuff's all going down in fire and flames. Crypto will be worth 5 cents in 5 years. It's exactly like the .com bubble or whatever. So I'm not educated enough to know, but in that specific topic, but I know that there is a lot of problems with money, like how it can be inflated, how we're just printing more of it, how these corrupt people are in charge of it. Yep. And I know that cryptocurrency solves a ton of those, whether or not it's like being, used regularly yet, and it's still speculative and blah, 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 blah. I just know that it solves like 3 out of 5 problems like quickly. And so I feel like there's something there. I have a gut feeling about cryptocurrency.
Micropayments, and so like this computer isn't doing something. Let's pay it to do something. We can pay it very little, and we can there's the things that the internet of so. Cryptocurrency is actually not what you think it is. People are like, oh, let's talk about Litecoin and this is an internet. It's a new internet, and it has to do with how currency and work. Like currency isn't just money, right? Currency is time. Currency is material.
Yeah. There's a ton of different things. Like for example,
and none of these are taken into account when you're talking about broad economies. So what it can do is create like robust microeconomies that are outside of governments.
Right. Well, I like what you just said about let's pay your laptop to do some work, like in the future, I believe that like it's going to be illegal to drive your car. Like cars won't even come with driver seats in them. They will drive themselves. Like if we do own cars, you will be Uber will be driverless. You will sign your car up to work for Uber, and it will have or whatever Uber is, and it will have its own cryptocurrency, and your car will come back for the day and be like, "Hello, sir. I made us 82 car coins," and you're like, "Yes, thank you. Now I can use those car coins to buy Pendleton jackets from Corey because I'm cold."
I'm cold.
Because I'm cold. Ah.
Because I'm cold.
Because
it's cold in Northern California. It's colder where you guys live. I hate it when people are like, "You live in California, isn't it hot?" And I'm like, "No, it's perfect most of the time, but sometimes it's cold."
All right, kids, it's bearing on midnight, and
yeah, somebody just texted me and said, "I like how you're vertical. You keep getting lower and lower."
Nicole's gonna fall asleep live on YouTube.
Reese, will you come hang out on the Mighty Mushroom channel sometime?
Yeah, I will. I've been meaning to do it. I loosely hung out in text form on the last one.
I'm very unprofessional and I'm very lackadaisical, so don't expect anything out of me, please.
Yeah, I'm pretty good at not being professional also. I'm professionally unprofessional.
I mean, it's not monetized, and one time we put a clip of South Park and we got kicked off the internet, but otherwise, it's been pretty good. So we've learned from our mistakes on how not to get kicked off of the internet.
All right, so let's wrap it up then, guys. Thank you for joining us. If you stayed here live, you're amazing. If you're watching this replay, you're also amazing. I know we went on forever and but basically this is what Corey does on his channel. If you want me to do more of this on my channel, let me know. And if you want to participate in stuff like this, there is a home for you on Corey's channel. The link for his channel is down below. Press it, press subscribe, press the bell alerts, because you never know when he's going to go live. He doesn't have a schedule. Then you can show up and you can be a part of the Mighty Mushroom channel. And you can talk about chickens and cryptocurrency and robots, and maybe you'll talk about reselling.
Maybe, but no promises.
And maybe Kayla will say something at some point.
Maybe.
50-50. She will put links in the chat.
I know
I will. I mean, I'm good for something.
Thank you so much to our moderator Alexis Greenberg for hanging out with us and moderating. I think she kicked out at least 2 people.
Mm-hmm. I saw that.
So I appreciate
She was quicker than me.
Good night, everyone.
Reezy, thanks for inviting me on the channel. Hopefully the audience got something cool out of this.
If you guys don't know, also, this is Kayla. Her Instagram is Hazel Hearts Vintage. Say hi real quick.
Hi, that's me.
What's your cat's name?
This is QWERTY. He's a Sphinx.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Very sweet. He just wanted to be in my arms. So.
And your YouTube channel is also Hazel Hearts Vintage, yeah?
I don't really do solo shows anymore. I do Corey's show, and I also do a show with my friend Crystal on Tuesday mornings called Sip and Flip.
Right. Yeah, I got to do your show. I remember you guys were trying
to have you on.
You guys were trying to get me on the show back in the day, and I was like, I don't know who you are.
No, we would love to have you on there. That's true. It was like a year and a half ago, so I didn't know you at the time.
Yeah, and now you know me.
But now I know you, and we'd love to have you on. We're very salty and nasty, so.
Oh, awesome. Okay, guys, so this is your homework. Go follow A Mighty Mushroom on Instagram. Subscribe to his channel. Follow Hazel Hearts Vintage on Instagram. Follow her channel. And you already follow Nicole, so you don't have to go
let's be honest. Her. We already all follow Nicole.
Let me be Reezy really fast. Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye, guys. If you ain't flipping, you slipping.
You slipping.
Have a good night, guys.
Later, dude.